And we are
Can melt
live.
it
Yeah, we've got a
we are live.
that we have to sort.
I forgot.
Hi.
I forgot. I have to unmute you all before I say we are live because we're using Discord now.
That's okay. They were all just conspiring to chop my hand off. So
No, I was conspiring to
not
melt your hand
conspiring.
off.
I promise nothing.
No, I would like to save Mia without having to remove an arm, but I want the crystal.
I want to kill a bitch.
You don't have to take the whole arm. We just got to take, the hand above the.
No, we're taking the whole arm.
wrist.
No.
All or nothing.
All or nothing.
All or nothing.
Welcome to science with science with coalesced mana crystals.
Science.
We're just which is literally just throwing magic at the wall and seeing what explodes.
In the future, whenever people ask why all of my characters seem to be missing a limb, I'm going to refer back to this conversation.
No, this is your own damn fault.
Whose fault?
Your own fault.
You gave that entire diatribe of how dangerous these fucking crystals are and to be careful around them and they could fucking kill us all. And then what do? You go and fucking touch them with your bare hands.
Okay, but think about what I can learn from this.
That is a wizard speaking right there.
Yep.
It's the
Let it be known. Let it be known that as of right now, Ash dipping her finger in the damn pool is not the dumbest thing that has happened. Now it is the
same.
It's like all of a sudden, Zoro and Groudon now feel redeemed because they're not the only one that's done something it probably shouldn't have.
Hey, but at least I didn't get possessed by a
way
demon
too many
lord.
stupid shit.
As far as you know.
I think I'm still
Give
top.
You don't know what happened to you.
Give it time.
I made a friend. That's what happened to me.
Totally.
So
yes, a friend.
Before we start, I have to show these off because they came in today.
You're so pretty.
So
is your camera gonna focus?
Yeah, my camera will focus. So I got the Rising Darkness.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And I love how the one is illuminated.
Oh,
that is amazing. And then I got the Treasures of the Sea, I believe it's called as well.
Oh, so pretty.
I want Cassie.
I'm jelly.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Fox, Cassie absolutely loves the Winter Rose dice.
Awesome.
She almost cried when she saw them. So
they came out so much better than I thought they would.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful.
I came very, very close to keeping those ones myself.
Yeah. So that was again top quality dice. So now I have 4 D20s that are probably going to roll nothing but high against all of you. So
yay.
What's that?
It's okay. I'll switch to my behemoth and I'll do just the same.
Wait, where is it? I got it right here. Ready, girl?
I don't use it all the time. But sometimes I'm like, let's whip it out.
I really just want to see like 3 of those behemoth dice put on like a multi-headed flail and just have somebody walk around with it.
I could do that.
That would
I could make that.
That would hurt. And these edges are nice and sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you do, Fox, with 3 that just don't come out of the bolts?
That's what I said. Like those aren't really dice to roll. They're deterrents for people stealing your dice because you just drop one into a sock and now you've got your own weapon right there.
Yeah, but that leaves the mark. You're supposed to use an orange.
Maybe you want to leave a mark to tell everyone else to back off.
Yeah,
No.
leave that big nat 20 imprinted on their forehead.
Nah, man, subdermal damage. That's what you want to do.
Look, all I have to say is, Your Honor.
Don't ask me why I know that.
Your Honor, they were trying to take my dice, and they're like, not guilty.
So I gave it to him.
They're like, not guilty.
They said they wanted my dice. They got my dice. It's not my fault that their interior organs couldn't handle it.
And they didn't specify how they wanted to get the dice.
Your Honor, they failed their Constitution save. Not guilty.
And the deck save.
That's how you do it.
Anyway,
their AC was not sufficient.
Their unarmored defense was crap. Definitely not a monk. Anyway, aside from it talking about, committing bodily harm against people trying to steal your dice with other dice. So it's nice to see the full house back in its full swing.
Yeah.
Zoro, you missed some fun, but I understand you watched the VOD, so you know what's going on.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. During like just the whole train sequence, I was like, "Oh my god, Kemek has all the spells to help with this situation right now. I'm not there. I have locate object. I could just move the snow around.
Yeah.
It's fine. We moved the snow just fine. We saw off of,
It's like Mass Effect
Blame
last
mine,
week.
it's fine.
We didn't have our negotiator. The group didn't have, their goblin wizard with them.
Yep.
But
Yeah, that was a very fun episode to watch, though.
So last week, the group headed out along, accompanying Den Mother and a couple other mad dogs as they began to investigate the crash site of the train, trying to figure out why exactly it was attacked, what if anything was taken from the cargo hold, and just trying to get a general idea of who attacked the train. Not a lot was learned from the initial inspection of the train cars that were still near the tracks. The Mad Dogs were still going through the tracking or the shipping manifests to make sure that all the cargo that was in the cargo train was still there. Thankfully for Azure Claw, the statue that he was transporting to Silverdale still completely intact. Kaleem's statue was loaded up onto a pump cart and taken back to town. The rest of the group then headed north about an hour and a half away, where you found the dining car and the cargo car of the trains that were flung from the explosion. You then finding the dining car, there wasn't really much to tell inside, as nothing really made it in there. But Nolani found a unexploded or an undetonated coalesced mana crystal strapped to part of a train car that was sticking up out of the snow. With a well-placed shot, they detonated the crystal, and you all found the cargo car descending down into a cave. A cave with these strange bluish crystals that seem to be resonating. Psychic screams began to tear through your head. So, piqued by his curiosity, Alistair went deeper into the cave and was then met with a few mutated worms that had these crystals sticking out of it. These creatures seemingly gave off psychic energy, as well as these little psychic screams that again resonated off the bigger crystals. A fight ensued, and Mia, against maybe her better judgment, pulled one of the crystals out of one of the bodies of the dead worms, and then had shards of the crystals sprouting up out of her hand. Deciding that it was time to get out, you all retreated back to the rope, climbed yourselves back up to the top, away from these psychic worms, but not unscathed, to say, as Mia has now started hearing voices of something talking to her, something watching her, something larger that was calling that cave its home. Deciding that it was time to head back and report back to Den Mother, the group started to head back south. But as all of this is going on, Kemek stayed behind. A few books, or a few new spell books, and that the tongue and the skull that they've been carrying around with them, seemingly piquing their interest more than discovering why the train was attacked. So, Kemek, you are in your room shortly after Nalani has said goodbye. You know where Nalani was heading. You kind of waved her off, thankful for the peace. The spell book's laid out in front of you, the skull and the tongue off to your right, maybe about a foot apart. After perusing your new spell tomes and putting the spells that you can into your book, the constant whispers that you've been hearing in your head ever since you found this tongue now holds your complete attention. All other sound around you sort of slips away until only the whispers remain. The same jumbled backward speak, seemingly trying to loop the same phrase in your mind. Being the inquisitive type that you are, you grab a spare piece of parchment and start trying to write what this thing is saying. So I'm going to need an intelligence roll first for that.
My sheet's on this side. Just straight up intelligence?
Straight up intelligence.
I want to say a 7.
Starting off really good. 21.
Damn.
Okay. It doesn't take you too long to separate these backwards words into something reminiscent of a sentence. And then a few moments later, you're able to unjumble what it's saying. And a simple phrase that just says, "It belongs in a mouth."
Oh no. No. Okay. No speak with dead or anything yet. I need to flip. Hold on. Fuck. Yeah. Okay. Try something.
Okay.
I'm gonna try putting the tongue in the skull.
I thought you were going to first try to put it in your mouth.
I thought about it at first, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't want to do that yet. Nope, I need to know more."
So
You don't want to do tongues?
pop open the mouth
Speak tongues.
and you place the tongue around the area that it would go. And you quickly pull your hand back as the mouth slams shut. And you can see these small, like, runic tattoos kind of like etch their way around the lower jaw. Soft green in color. And they just slowly fade. Now the markings burned into it.
Ooh. Can I understand them at all?
Since you've put the tongue into it, it hasn't said anything. But the tattoos, they almost look goblinoid. But there's something missing in translation that is making it a bit hard for you to determine a lot of the words.
Okay. Is there anything that I can understand from what little I can translate on
Go
the
ahead.
tattoos?
Go ahead and give me a history roll.
I shit you not. Nat 20 for 29.
Okay. So you could make out probably about 4 words.
Okay.
Seek, truth, completion, reveal.
Ooh. And just out of curiosity, how many of these tattoo markings are on it that I still need to translate?
They pretty much start from like the center of the chin, and they run all the way up on either side to about here, to where like the lower jaw is like connected.
Just because I'm curious, can I bring the tongue in close again to see if it has a different kind of reaction?
So as you open the mouth, the tongue is now alive, regenerated. It's no longer this mummified husk, but it's this soft gray color, and you can see muscle movement inside of it.
Oh god. But it's still like in my hands,
No,
not in the...
it's in the skull. It's like...
Oh, it's in the skull. Okay.
You can see like some formation of flesh underneath it. It's like it's just connected back into the skull itself.
Can I have a pet skull that will talk to me later? Okay. Okay.
The skull rattles a little bit, and you see it like hover off the ground maybe about 1.5 feet as it opens its mouth and it begins to speak. But again, it's in this almost goblinoid sounding language, but not something you can fully understand.
This ancient language. I will try to jot down the best I can as it's speaking, what it's saying, to kind of translate later to the best of my ability.
Okay. Go ahead and give me another intelligence roll to see how well you can scribe what they're saying. It's the weirdest Build-A-Bear I've seen.
13.
13. It's rough this time.
Yeah.
It's like you could tell that it's speaking, but it's speaking far too fast and almost in like a panicked tone. And then after after about like 5 minutes or so, it just drops back to the floor, almost lifeless. And the mouth opens up, and the mummified tongue kind of spills out. And the tattoos are now gone from the lower jaw.
No one's there to see how incredibly giddy Kemek is. It's not a side they show often. But Kemek is like fat kid in a cake store right now, just excited. So they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna scoop the tongue back up and put it back in the jar so it stays all nice and preserved. And it's gonna go ahead and put the skull back for now, satisfied with the events for now, and then focus on writing in the tome, as well as their journal of what transpired to reference later.
Okay. And every now and then you get just the whispers in your head now translated to you of, it goes in a mouth.
It's just, I really want to put it in my mouth. Just
do it.
It's not smart
No
until I
balls.
have more information. Mimic smart. Study first.
It fell out after a while, right? It's fine. It's safe.
It's just, yeah. More steps need to be taken before putting it in my own mouth. Give it time. Give it time.
So you're just gonna put it in someone else's mouth. Got it.
I'm not gonna lie. I almost wanted to like find another body, like some dead body, and just shove it in their mouth and be like, "Talk to me." I don't know if it will work. But yeah, that's what yeah, that's what they're gonna do for now. So they'll spend some time doing that, take notes, very thorough notes, and then start focusing on the copying tome stuff.
Okay. And this goes on for about a couple hours with the experimentation and the note taking. And once you're done, you start getting you get like this nagging feeling that something is wrong. Like you don't know why, but you think Nalani or someone else has just did something they shouldn't. Just that change in the temperature.
Looks like
There's
writing in their notebook,
There's
then all of a sudden it's like
disturbance in the force.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a disturbance in the force.
It
just
feels
writing
like
down
a
in the journal, then
million
all of a sudden
lights
it's like
have just been snuffed.
it's just suddenly like they feel the disturbance and goes, someone done fucked up.
Pretty much. It's like that mom sense to where you know when your kids have done something wrong. Like they're not even home.
And then there's
They're not
too
even
quiet.
home. They're not even home, and you know that they fucked up.
I already know how well of a liar Mia is, so you know this will be fun.
Totally a pedestrian.
Yep. Those aren't wings, it's cosplay.
They're foam core.
Yeah.
So
Mia's gonna done fuck up.
So against maybe your own better judgment or maybe concern from your friend, you find yourself out on the train yard as a very large box pulls up, accompanied by a couple mad dogs on a pump cart. You looking to go back?
Is that where my friends are?
Yeah, they're helping us take inventory and investigating the crash sites.
What did they do?
Couldn't tell you. I mean, they confirmed that the priest statue is okay, so I guess that's yay. But last time we knew when we left, they were assisting a den mother trying to track down what exactly was stolen.
Take me to them.
Hop on. You climb onto the pump cart, and after they've taken off they've unloaded the statue, two fresh mad dogs hop on and they begin to pump the cart back down the tracks. And it's around the time that the group begins to like enter the camp. The pump cart is pulling in as well.
I remember right, I'm carrying Mia now because she passed out.
Yeah.
Okay. In an attempt to hide the wrapped hand, I probably have that arm pressed up against my chest, so it's flopped over her stomach, and then I have her other arm over it. I'm doing like the princess carry.
Gotcha.
So I don't want to draw attention to it at this point.
And Kemek, you seeing this, you get the feeling that your previous feeling was correct, that maybe Mia fucked up.
Maybe.
And I'm just I'm heading straight for the cars because I'm taking her back to the hotel.
What? happened?
We'll discuss at the hotel. Not here.
Den mother.
I'm not riding back on the cart that they're taking Maya on because I don't want to get exploded.
Den mother is Kemek, you see Den mother coming up behind you, the rest of the group with a bit of a concerned look on her face. Please tell me you found something that at least that's good tidings.
Good tidings? No.
Maybe found the missing rail cars.
Anything that can help us out?
Help us out? No.
Unless they intentionally lodged into the top of that cave. Not really. But the carts do lead down into a cave.
What cave? No cave
You
systems around here.
You don't want to go in
I wasn't
Apparently
planning on it.
full of the horrible explodey crystals.
What?
Explodey crystals?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the same things they use to explode the mail cars off the thing, only a different color.
Different colors? Did these crystals explode as well, or
But
what
we
happened?
did not test that theory.
I see. And
It narrows their eyes.
what of Mia? You okay?
She's tired.
Check her out. See for yourself.
She's fine. She's just tired.
Kind of.
She's not used to trekking around outdoors.
She kind of like walks over to Mia and like puts her hand on her head and she's like, got a bit of a fever.
I'll take it back to the room. She's going to rest.
Can't let you go that way. Night's descending, not the best. Being out on the rails at this point in time is not the best idea. We got a camp set up. We can take her there, put her in a tent. We can keep her warm.
Kemek, can you assist me?
Wait, what? Kemek, what?
Come along.
Oh, okay.
And she begins to like.
All right, fine.
She kind of like motions for like the rest of you to follow her. She's begins to lead you back towards like a decently sized camp.
Den Mother uses a great axe, right?
No, a Den Mother has a very large spear.
Like how long is the spear blade?
She looks like she's handling a great spear.
Does it look sharp?
Very.
Yuriko, while they're walking to camp, she's gonna look at the great spear and she's gonna go, "How sharp you keep that thing?"
As sharp as it needs to be. Why?
Can it cut through bone?
Like butter.
Options. I like it.
It can also launch things that can penetrate 3 people. But
I don't think we have to go that far.
what are you getting at?
Depends on whether or not someone can fix their stupid.
So something did happen to me.
She passed out.
Then whose stupid needs to be fixed?
I look like I'm fine. Not mine.
Well, you made the comment, so now I'm curious.
Exactly. Curiosity is very healthy in certain situations.
While I find your attempt to dance around the subject endearing, we don't hide things from one another here in the guild. If there's anything that could put us, you, me, your fellow dogs at risk or in danger, I need to know about it.
And I suggest you have someone who has some really really good healing skills. Give me 1 silver.
Mia's not hurt.
Then what's wrong with her?
She passed out. She's not used to walking around, from what I understand.
Look, again, I find all of your attempts to keep your friend's secret endearing, but you cannot keep secrets from me. What happened? It's best to say it now when it's just me and not when we get closer to the camp.
Oh, it is just her. I thought there was more around.
No, it's just her.
Well, that changes everything.
Yeah, no, it really does.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Backtrack. We'll tell you.
Lori will stop walking at this point, because I'm assuming this entire time everyone was chasing after her. She was walking away. She'll turn around and be like, she simply touched something she shouldn't have. Kimmick might be able to remove it.
What did she touch?
Knew it.
And she'll look down at like the hand, kind of going like a nod motion to the hands.
She kind of reaches over and pulls Mia's hand
No bare
out,
hands.
pulls Mia's hand out from underneath her.
Don't touch it.
Looks at it. Are these the explodey crystals you spoke of?
Mm-hmm.
No,
No.
she did
We-
not.
At least the red ones exploded. So I assume these ones do.
So what do the blue ones do?
Make your head hurt a whole lot.
From what I understand, psychic.
Psychic.
Yeah, they hurt your head a lot. You hear screams in your head, and it feels like your head's going to explode. Which is what happened when we attempted to remove these from her hand.
Like,
Physically.
what kinds of voices?
Yeah, just screams. Pressure. Mental pressure.
So that's why you were asking me about the spear.
Mm-hmm.
Or not to take her hand if we can avoid it.
Don't worry,
I have nothing to cauterize it with.
Oh, we do. But
I do.
last-ditch efforts. Let's get her back into camp. We'll get her into a tent, get her warmed up, get her comfortable. I'll have one of our arcanists look her over, see what they can figure out.
Pulling crystal out does not work.
I
We attempted
might
that.
be able to make her comfortable until we get back into town.
She also was walking along just fine when she passed out.
And you said this
Great.
cave was where the cars were at.
Yes. So we found the dining car. We found one of the mines. It's extremely volatile, so we exploded it and found the other Ritson cars.
Hmm.
And we found that the cars led into the cave where these crystals were.
Oh, an underground cave.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Those are
that's
far more common than you think.
that's what concerns me. There's no cave system around here.
Is now.
Maybe not properly explored. I am
And,
not familiar with this area.
The question is
Wait,
whether they
did
accidentally
there
or
look like
intentionally
there
opened the
was-
system.
Question: Was
Mhm.
there actually like carved stairs down there?
Yeah.
Or was it natural?
Yeah.
No, there was carved
Yeah,
was
so-
carved
yeah.
stone down there.
The whole time I was watching that battle, I was like, guys, those are stairs! Those are stairs!
Looked partially natural. Was carved stairs. Maybe
Like a temple? Oh, that is not good.
Where is this cave?
I'm not going back over there.
If it's where they say the cars are at, it's about an hour and a half north of here. I'll dispatch.
not
Do we
break
have
crystals.
time?
Just look out for the snail slugs.
I'll dispatch a couple.
I got fucked.
I'll dispatch a couple of my best scouts. Have them survey the
Tell
area.
them not to touch crystals.
Oh, they know better than to touch
And-
things they are unfamiliar with.
Can I go as well?
Be warned of the slugs.
That is up to you if you wish, but They work during the nights, so I don't know how you function without sleep.
Oh, I function quite well without sleep. I used to be nocturnal. But the point is I just want to go briefly to check some things out. I can be quite useful from afar.
If you wish to go, be my guest. But before we do that, let's secure Mia, make sure she's well taken care of.
Yes, I can set up something comfortable for her in the meantime. I will need a few minutes to set it up properly, though, so let's set up a place that you think is a good spot to
We'll put her in.
set up camp.
Well, she kind of like motions forward, probably about like 40 feet or something in front of you. You see a large base camp already up and operating. We have tents for all of you. We can just put her in one of those. I'll make sure that only your group and the healers for this point in time go in there.
All right. Well, then whenever they're ready, I'll go with them.
Nice, we're gonna start heading that way again. She'll attempt to give Kim a look, saying, like, catch up to me.
Little feet, just like just
Waddling through the snow like a penguin.
my own flap
Penguin
flap,
shuffle.
just like
You can climb the Lonnie, you're welcome to, you know that.
yeah, but you got a head start.
So,
Yeah, I'll catch up.
when Kimix catch up, she's going to whisper lowly, hopefully none of the rest of the group can hear. I know Mia had something she was hiding. Do you have any idea of what it is? I don't need to know. I need to know what I need to protect her from.
Well, I mean, it's no secret you were there when you witnessed it as far as her unique abilities.
Yeah, she does the same stuff you do. You got that part.
No, the other thing that she did you not see that?
See what?
With the bright light and...
Yeah, it was part of her abilities like you, right?
Different, but sure. Yeah, okay, well, that's... Let's just say we don't want them doing a body examination unless it's just the hand.
Darth Lowell, thank you for the
Got it.
52-month resub.
I'll make sure they do that.
And, yeah, just keep her hat on.
She's gonna look at you quizzically, like, what? Whatever.
It's a wizard thing.
Okay.
Wizards lose their power if they don't have their hat.
Then why don't you wear a hat?
I'm a different type of wizard.
It's invisible.
Sure. Okay.
Goblins don't need the hat.
Yeah.
I don't need the hat.
They have a hat. It's their ears.
So, when we get to
Goblins
Camp
can't
Lion,
wear
basically-
hats because of ear clipping.
When we get back to camp, Nalai's basically taking up bodyguard duty for Mia, making sure that no one looks at anything other than her hand, and no one takes off the hat. With force if necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Okay.
Thank you. I hopefully won't be too long, but I have a means to investigate further.
So
You know your
I won't
limitations.
go down.
you all head into camp, and Den Mother kind of shows you to like a small collection of tents nearby one another, letting you know that this is where you can rest up. There are about 4 tents for all of you to spread across if you wish. Each tent looks like it could comfortably fit about 4 people. But she directs Nalani to take Mia into the central tent, and once she's in there, she kind of helps you put Mia in one of the the beds and cover her up with like a heavy fur blanket. But the
or make sure her hat stays on when she goes down
yeah,
too. 'Cause
yeah.
that's what I was told to do.
And she
I don't
kind
understand it.
she kind of like gives that a weird look, but again, you're odd people, so she doesn't question it. But she makes sure that the injured hand is out from underneath the blanket and across Mia's chest, so when the healers come in, they'll have a chance to look at it.
Make sure to instruct them not to touch the crystals. That's how this happened in the first place.
Again, we don't go touching things we don't understand. Mia.
Yes, sir.
While this is going on, you feel a bit of comfort wash over you as the day's chill is wiped away. Your body's still responding to the elements around you, but not mentally there. And you're sitting in a dark room. You can hear the crack of fire as light begins to illuminate, and you're in a rather familiar high back chair in a very cozy cabin. The sound of crickets and woodland creatures outside your window. As you look around, you realize that you're sitting back home, as if you never left. There's no pain in your hand. There are no crystals in your hand. Your hat is neatly up on a rack. A small refreshment on the table next to you. Just listening to the night's noise. And then comes a knock at your door. 3 slow knocks, maybe 5 seconds apart.
I'll get up from where I am and approach a window on the same wall as the front door and kind of peek through a curtain, see who it is out there.
And as you peek through, you notice that the window itself is fogged over with frost.
Right. I'll grab my hat and put it on and just grab any cloak or jacket that might be hanging nearby to throw that on and hide my wings as well. And I'll open up the front door.
And as you open up the front door, you are met with a large, pale, draconic face. Deep breath. It's just a deep inhale and then an exhale with its nostrils, hitting you with this almost noxious gas. Kind of gets closer for a moment, then backs away. Heavy footsteps echoing throughout the forest as it lowers itself down so you can see more of it. Its body is this off gray, almost corpse-like. The flesh not really showing any signs of light. It's very taut. In places there are tears. The face of the dragon itself is roughly complete, but the top of the cranium is completely shattered. Very large, exposed brain protruding outside of its head. Multiple crystals jutting out from it. Its eyes sleet white. You You and I will soon be one.
I'm sorry?
You and I will soon be one.
I don't think we know each other. Are you sure you've got the right house?
I know I have the right house. But you already know you are not a home, Mia. Your psyche is just putting you in a place of comfort.
Yeah. When you say one, what do you mean exactly?
And he kind of smiles as you feel pain in your hand as the flesh begins to rip and those crystals begin to slowly grow out of it. And you can see that the crystals begin to like open up wounds on your arm until it's completely covered. You and I will be one.
I don't,
You my herald, and I their destruction.
Destruction? I don't even know who you are.
In due time, little Valkyrie. For now, wake up, get something to eat, and whatever you do, do not let them pull those crystals out of your hand. It'll be a very painful experience for everyone.
Wait, hold on a
We'll
second.
talk later. And there's like a bright light that flashes, and you kind of like wake up like in mid speech.
So she probably like wakes up and kind of sits up, like eyes opening, almost shouting, "I want to talk now." Oh.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Where are we?
Camp.
Have I missed anything good?
Chemic's heading out to the site to take a look at it.
Oh, Chemic's here.
Chemic is
Alright.
Healers are on their way to take a look at your hand.
Chemic is technically in the tent at the moment.
Oh.
This pretty
woke
much,
up before I left?
This pretty much happened right as you laid her down and she got all nice and comfy that she woke up and started shouting about wanting to talk.
So who are you talking to?
Chemic's just glaring.
I was not given a name.
By whom?
Nalani, do you...
And as you begin to speak, as trying to like describe this to him, a very painful ring starts filling your ears and causes you to flinch, kind of like shrinking away from the conversation, as everyone can see the crystals on her hand like pulse for a brief moment. No spoilers yet.
Perhaps that's a conversation for a different time. Thank you for getting me to safety. I'm sure I can take it from here.
Healers are on the way to look at your hand. I'm pretty sure we're going to be forced to
I
stay
don't-
here until they do.
I appreciate the thought and the effort.
Den Mother walks back in.
Oh, you're here
flanked
too.
by two healers that seem to be in quasi like church robes, but they wear the emblem of the Mad Dogs.
Hi. As I was about to explain to my friends here, I appreciate the thought and the effort, going through all this trouble for me, but
Lay down, Mia.
No, I'm quite all right, thank you.
Oh no, this isn't a question. This is an order from your superior. Lay down.
I'm fine where I am. Believe me, it's just going to
And
be
believe
worse
me,
if
I want them to look you over to make sure that you're not going to explode on us, that you're not going to die, and we are not going to die. Just let them do their job. I promise they won't touch anything that will be painful.
How exactly are they going to confirm these things?
Beats the hell out of me. I'm not a cleric.
I would
I want to study.
prefer if there was no magical interaction at the moment. I promise you I will do my best not to explode, but trying to force anything upon this growth, let's call it, is going to be very bad.
So, as you're talking about this, thank you for reminding me, Zoro.
What'd
Cook
you
of all.
do?
You are in heaven right now.
I died?
No. You started heading out.
We left you back in that cave, my bad.
You started heading out.
I never went to the
He
cave.
never went.
You started heading out to the site with everyone. But a very familiar buzzing got your attention. As you were passing Firelight Facade, a fresh crate of bugs had just been delivered. Not being able to help yourself, you dive in and have a king's feast. While inside,
Wait, so
you're sort of discovered by the owners.
okay.
Wait, I didn't pay or order this, or
No, it was just there and you saw bugs. And
God,
they're not
this
really
would happen.
They're not really mad at you.
I wanted to make sure I heard that correctly.
Though you did eat quite a meal. And instead of reporting you, they just need you to do one thing. They saw the rest of your friends going out of town. With the current dangers around there, not many people have been able to set foot out there, so they need you to retrieve something for them. There is a small white flower that blooms in the snow. These flowers are said to increase the taste of anything you eat with it tenfold. They are also very strong ingredients for potions. They only need one. As they have a dish that they want to try to prepare, sort of king's feast, but it requires this flower.
Am I familiar with this flower?
You know of this flower, yes. It's like you've seen it sprout all over the Howling Forest. But you also know that it grows out in the wilds in the snow.
All right, so I do have firsthand experience with it.
You have firsthand experience with it. You know what it looks like.
Okay.
The only problem is it tends to grow in areas that have a large concentration of natural magic. Hence why they sprout so freely along the Howling Forest with the amount of druids that call home there.
Okay. Kunkoval will agree and ask, where can I find these flowers?
Well, there is a rarely known hot spring around here, not too far out. They tend to grow there from time to time. Would be a good place to check.
Any known dangers in the area?
Normal predators. I mean, as long as you don't search during the night. During the night, you're going to run into all sorts of nasties.
I'm gonna look around. What time is it now?
While you're eating, it's mid-afternoon.
So I should have plenty of time. Okay. And unless they stop me, I'll just turn around and start walking the direction that they pointed me in.
Flat. Yeah, I apologize that I forgot that Kunkoval wasn't covered.
I was like, we both weren't there.
Yeah, and because of that, I'm just gonna say that Kunkoval does what Kunkoval does best, and he just sort of like snuck on the pump cart with Kemek, just out of sight, and caught a ride. And he's in the tent with everybody, just standing there quietly, looking at everybody, not really sure what's going on.
He's racist. His presence. He's a master ninja.
That's one of the race features that he has, is the unassuming presence.
Oh God, are you serious?
Yeah.
That's the actual race. I was joking.
Completely people.
No, it's a real thing.
People don't pay attention to him unless he wants to be seen. People do not pay attention to him.
You're like that little blob creature from Monsters University that's just all of a sudden just speaks and everyone's like, where'd you come from?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, I'll drop that in the Roll20 chat. So
Oh yeah. So yeah. We'll talk later. Blair.
The clerics begin to look over Mia. Look over, like, doing God knows what to the rest of you, because most of you don't have experience with the church.
If they move off of her hand to any other part of her body, Nalani's gonna step in.
No,
I have experience.
That's what she was told not to do.
Their
Yeah.
Their entire focus is on that hand. And it's like their hands begin to light up and they begin to like try to do what they're doing. The crystals begin to light up and they begin to give off a very audible hum. Kind of makes all of you a bit dizzy, but not really taking any damage. The clerics sort of back away. Whatever it is, it definitely does not like radiant energy. So the rest of her seems to be completely intact. Keep an eye on it.
So we cut off the hand.
That would be a possibility, but I would advise against it.
As would I.
Keep an eye on it. If it starts to spread or if it starts to itch, let us know and we'll see if we can help.
I will keep you apprised of the situation.
And they nod and head on out. Dead Mother is looking over the rest of the group. All right, I know Kemek wanted to go. Is there anybody else who is looking to go with the scouts, see what they can find up back at the train cars tonight?
I'm sorry, you're going back.
Yes, I need them to investigate what's going on over there. This recently uncovered underground cavern that we had no idea about that seems to have cut stairs.
We'll go.
You will all go.
Are
Season's
hot
coming.
springs near there?
Hot springs.
No.
There are hot springs, but they're about probably a good 4 hours northeast of that. You looking to take a dip?
Need to collect flowers for a friend.
They suckered you into their little meal deal, did they?
I ate lots of their bugs.
Well, I wish you luck. Whatever you do, be nice. He doesn't like people showing up unannounced.
Oh.
She kind of just smiles and pats you on the head as she walks by.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit here for a moment, kind of like concentrating on these crystals, and I'm just gonna, don't know if this is gonna work or not, but
Okay.
I'm gonna think a question in my mind, or statement rather, and Mia's gonna just kind of portray those thoughts to hopefully whatever this presence is that she's connected to.
Okay.
My friends are going back. Are they in danger?
Oh, you are always in danger.
More than usual, I mean.
You mean from me or the little worms that walk around the cave?
From you.
I have no interest in them yet. You touch the crystals. I've got to bring one into the fold before the rest join. But for now, as long as they mind their manners and watch where they step, they should not have to worry about me.
Understood.
So
And
you maybe want to go with them.
oh, they are most definitely not going without me.
Good. An emissary is better protection than them just wandering around unannounced.
No, this is my choice. Has nothing to do with you, whoever you are.
Then it's a happy coincidence.
Hmm.
I will say, let them know not to destroy any of the crystals. That would be bad.
We assumed as much on our first journey in.
You ever wish to see a skull detonate from the outside in? Go ahead and break one.
Is that what happened to yours?
Oh no. That's enlightenment.
Right. At this point, Mia starts to just like stand up from where she is. Right, if we're gonna go, we should probably head out now.
Oh, we're all
well
going
enough
together.
to move, or you gonna pass out on us again?
I should be fine.
You're going back to the cave of.
We're not going in, from my understanding, right, Kimmick?
I
The
wasn't, but I
scouts
also
are
didn't
going
realize
in.
everyone. I doesn't mean I was gonna go in, but I didn't realize we were all going together.
You do stuff from an 80 above 80 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, well, I figure
mean-
I should go with you because now that I've done all the things we shouldn't do, you know, I know better than everyone what not to do. So
You mean
I'll
the
be
common
there.
sense thing to not touch the damn crystals.
I weighed my options in that moment considerably.
Hmm.
Sometimes you
Yeah.
need to take risks for certain knowledge. Isn't that right, Kamek?
Not when you touch the crystals barehanded.
Well, it's not always in the form of crystals. Sometimes it can be simple objects hiding under the bed.
I still investigated that first, then touching it with my bare hands.
Yes, well, we were in a bit of a life and death situation.
Hema goes to open their mouth at first, and they're like,
You know what, I'm going to talk to you later. Because I could keep going on, and we don't have that time right now.
I think both the wizards could just keep going down this line and get nowhere at the end of it.
Yep.
Which one of us is less responsible?
Yes. I'm gonna put a mummified tongue in my mouth at some point.
You don't need to be responsible. You have permits.
Permats.
As we travel again, I will
I have a
pick up
permit to
Kimmick.
fuck around and find out.
Before we head out, though, I will do a few things here to better prep myself. I'm going to... Where's my... Oh, yeah. I'm going to burn 14 of my remaining 15 HP to bring my Aegis shield up with a pool of 14 hit points.
Okay.
And then look like garbage.
When you're doing this right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'll wait for everyone to exit my tent first, and then I'll do it.
Probably a
Oh,
good idea.
I was picking Kimmick up and waiting for Mia to go first. So there's this awkward stare down for a little bit.
Yeah. Yuriko, like, is there food prepared at the camp right now?
Oh yeah, there's everyone else is like grabbing their nightly meal.
Yeah, Yuriko's not going. She's just gonna go and grab her nightly meal, and she's just gonna go and chill with the rest of the mad dogs.
Okay. Is anyone else staying behind? No?
Unfortunately not.
No, but I'll eat a phase spider leg in front of the mad dog.
Okay. And like as you're like chomping into the face spider leg, they kind of look at you and just like kind of give you a nod of approval.
I offer the end of it to one of them.
He just takes it and bites into it and gives it back to you.
Before we head out, I'm gonna go ahead and find a place where no one can really see me very well. Like, just kind of go behind the tent real quick.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and I'll snap my fingers, and I'll have Moonin on my shoulder. So like in a shadowy form, just kind of, and then solidifies on my shoulder.
Okay.
And then I'll go back to Nilani.
Who's
Say
still
upsies.
sitting in the tent, waiting.
And just say upsies.
Upsies.
Picking up Goblin, putting on my shoulders and waiting.
All right. Well, if it
Putting
looks
them
like
on my shoulders, sorry.
if it looks like Nalani's gonna refuse to leave the tent, I certainly don't have the stature to make her leave.
Be-
So,
Just slap her.
Unless
Just
something
slap
says
her with
he's
one of those
standing there.
crystals.
Just say you're gonna do magic things, wizard things.
I'll just
It
do the
makes
wizard thing.
her uncomfortable.
Okay. So
Um,
so when you do the wizard thing, who is still in the tent with Nalani and Kemek? No one else?
I have no idea where I'm at the
No.
moment, so-
I chose poorly.
Okay. You're with the group. Crowding.
Okay.
Yeah, Al was with the group. He came back with everyone.
Okay, cool. I guess he just like sits there.
Okay, in the tent?
Sure.
Okay. So, Fox, go ahead and do your wizard thing.
Can't
Oh,
get any
no.
damn privacy in this house.
I didn't ask.
Privacy.
Yeah, so I'm gonna first use the ability to bring out my shield. So for a brief moment, these like arcane glyphs are traced across her skin in this like thin red glowing line, and then they all kind of burst outwards in a red mist and form like a shimmering bubble that immediately dissipates, and she looks like absolute garbage afterwards.
Is that a spell?
That is not a spell, but
Okay.
now she's going to use some spells to heal herself.
Okay.
So she's going to use her Nostrum spell first at 2nd level and then at 1st level.
Okay. So at that point in time, when you do the 1st level and the 2nd level, I need you to roll me 2 percentile die. 1 for each spell that you cast.
Well.
And then I will need
Done fucked
everybody who is in the tent to give me wisdom saving throws.
You son of
Fuck
a...
me.
Okay, well, for the 2nd level casting, I rolled an 83. And for the 1st level casting, I rolled a 24.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
So
I didn't realize I'm proficient in wisdom.
You
Okay,
said
I'm
saving
not
throw?
scared as I thought.
Or
wisdom
check.
2 wisdom saving throws.
Oh, 2.
Oh, 2 wisdom.
2 wisdom saving
Okay.
throws.
All right, so that is a 17 and a 9.
What's your
Yeah.
spell save modifier or your spell save DC?
My spell save DC is 16 at the
16.
moment.
Okay. So
Thank
I got
God.
14 and a 9.
the 2 fails.
Mhm.
Kemek?
16 and 20. Dirty 20.
16 and 20. Okay, so Kemek,
So
you're
I was
fine.
like, oh, thank God.
Kemek, you're fine.
My wisdom, I didn't realize I was
What
proficient in
the
wisdom
first
saves. I was
number
like,
that
shit.
you rolled, Fox?
83.
83. Okay. Nalani,
Mm-hmm.
can you roll me a d4?
Sure.
Oh, no.
Oh, thank God.
It's a 4.
A 4.
I
Can
don't
you
know if that's a good or
now
a bad thing.
roll me a d8?
A D8. That's an 8.
That's it.
Damn.
Nice.
So, for the next 4 weeks,
What?
any joyful emotion that you have is also experienced by Mia, and vice versa.
Oh, okay.
Well, then.
Does
That could be
Nalani
so
even
much
feel
worse.
joy
A
outside
lot
of
of a one-way
combat?
street to Nalani.
You're going to start
Yeah,
getting
there's no
real
two-way
happy
street.
every time I read a book.
It's gonna be a one-way street.
This is
There
a one-way
is
street.
there is no limit on the distance, and there is no sight requirements. It is anytime there is a joyous emotion felt, you both share it.
I'm feeling.
I ship it.
Dad's probably over here. First reaction is, what the fuck?
I
Now.
ship this.
I was thinking.
I'm on the toilet. Why am I happy?
Now, for those of you who rolled, that was an 89. You said, Fox, right?
83.
And then what did you get? The other one? It was a 20. What?
24, I think it was.
24. Yeah. Those of you who failed the second saving throw,
Yeah.
only need one of you.
I'll do it.
Roll me 2d12, please.
Okay. 2d12s. There's that
Keep forgetting I'm
one,
not Ash. My wisdom is not.
and
terrible.
that one. All right.
Oh, just Nalani says.
Do you want them at the same time
At the
or
same time
separate?
totaled.
Okay.
I'm on 2s.
You
Right?
4.
A total of 4. Okay.
Did you roll 2 2s?
So
Yes.
for the next for the next 4 hours, any damage that is taken by you, everyone else is like those who you are connected with. So it's gonna be Mia, Nalani, and Alistair. If you take damage, the other 2 people are going to take half that damage as psychic damage
Oh yeah,
For the
give it to the
next-
wizard.
for the next 4 hours.
So if I get hit, the other two get fucking
If
hit?
you get hit, the other two get half damage as psychic damage.
That's fucking great.
Oh
Look
no,
on the
Chemic
bright
is
side,
fine
though.
because Chemic made
Chemic is
the
fine.
save.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chemic is fine.
Look on the bright side, though. It's going to take us an hour there and an hour back, so we just have to worry about the in-between 2 hours.
Yeah, that could have been a lot worse.
That
I-
still
my-
sucks, though.
I hate today.
Seeing my healer self make so I go, oh yeah, I should probably go see the clerics. She's gonna
Wait.
wander off to go get healing because not high on
Birds.
HP.
Yeah.
You hate 2-day?
Fuck off!
I love it.
Stop making me roll!
Can I hunt down those clerics and
Oh, yeah.
possibly get some healing?
Yeah, anybody who needs healing can visit the clerics and they'll heal them up to full.
Awesome. I need that.
Now, because today is a cursed day,
Fuck.
Cursed? Who said it was cursed?
Two.
Because it's
Hey.
Tuesday.
No, it's not cursed. It's
Tuesday.
awesome.
we can't have a cursed day without a little bit
no.
of chaos happening.
Oh,
I
fuck.
love chaos.
This hasn't been enough chaos for you?
So,
Yeah, this is not enough chaos.
I'm about to throw chaos into the pit.
Okay.
Groudon,
Why?
choose someone.
I get to choose! Can I choose myself?
If you wish. Now, I will say, whomever you choose has to draw from the deck twice.
Oh!
Fuck it, I'll do it!
And it's a full deck.
I'll do it. I don't care.
Okay. Dirge 14, thank you for that raid. So, the only card that is taken out of here is balance, because there is no such thing as alignment anymore.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
So, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
a
11,
general
12,
guideline.
13, 14, 15, 20,
Wait, where's
21
the deck?
cards. Right there.
No, sorry, the deck emote. is
So,
what I wanted to pull
21
up.
cards.
I got my 2 numbers.
Okay.
2
Okay.
and 13.
Oh, God, you just really
Would
hate
be a
yourself.
2.
All right.
Yes.
Second card.
Oh god.
And the 13th card.
Draw another fucking character.
I embrace this.
The fates are kind to you today.
Really?
So, apparently today isn't as cursed as I thought it was going to be.
Okay,
Yay.
cool.
Hey.
So, everyone here. See, how much is that worth? Everyone here is going to get 5 pieces of jewelry that fall in their hand. Each of them worth 2,000 gold.
I miss out on all the money shit.
That means you too.
I mean,
She said everyone here.
everyone's on stream.
Everyone here.
Like,
Oh, okay. You're
Yeah.
way nice. You're way nicer than me. Like you're not in the tent. You're assed out.
And
We have 5 pieces of jewelry worth 2,000 gold
2,000 gold each. Yes.
each. And I can buy paper.
not 2,000 gold in total each.
2,000 gold each.
Yeah.
Each 5 pieces.
The 5 pieces are worth 2,000 each.
Okay, that's what I was trying to clarify. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
Another one sound way too high.
Math people. A lot.
this is a group card here. This is a
Oh,
group
God.
fate card.
Oh.
This means that anybody here can use it at any point in time.
Oh, that.
Is that the Vizier card?
This is the fates.
Fates.
I
Oh,
don't
what
know
are
know
the what's the
what to
fates?
do.
I don't think I know what the
It
fates
lets
is.
you erase.
I don't have
one,
that memorized.
It lets you erase one circumstance
Yep,
from
so-
existence.
The fates.
I got one.
Yeah.
Where is my card descriptions here? The The fates,
Wish Mia wasn't so dumb to touch it.
reality's fabric unravels and spins anew, allowing you to avoid or erase one event as if it never happened. You can use this card's magic as soon as you draw the card or at any other time before you die.
Now, to clarify, you said this is a group card, so that means the group can do it once or once each?
Once. This is a one-time use, first come, first serve.
We had before, but
Yep.
it was never actually used.
Oh, it's a first come first serve, so it's
Yeah.
not something that the group
No,
has to
it's
all
a
agree
single
on.
card. You don't have to agree on it. Just everybody knows that that the group has a fate ability here that they can use at any point in time, but it only has one use and then it's gone.
Can I erase the world from existence?
No.
Oh, damn.
No, we tried that
No,
in
that's-
season 1. Remember, didn't work
Yeah.
out well for
Yeah.
us.
Did not work
We did
out
that
well
like
at
five
all.
worlds, okay?
Yeah, and it
Remember-
was a disaster every time.
Giant spiders, walking, living giant golem things.
Destroying an
know.
entire plane of existence with a really bad placed wish spell.
We were
Yeah.
we were technically lice on a giant.
Getting hit with bears.
Forgot about that.
I forgot about the undead giants who were throwing bear carcasses
I
at you.
will never forget about that because that was horrible and horrifying.
Yeah.
We got hit with fucking bears, Rojan. How do you forget that?
The bears.
So I'm going to add that fate card to our group inventory just so I don't forget that it's there.
Okay.
But all of you, because it is the cursed day of TUES, you all now have technically 10,000 gold in your pocket.
Which, if I was any other character, I'd be like, oh my god, there's so many things I want to do with it. But now I'm thinking too much like a wizard. I'm like, oh my god, the paper.
Well,
Gotta get the paper, gotta get the ink.
Kemek is the only one who knows about the secret magic store underneath Ramshackle Tackle Box.
Kemet did tell Mia
the
about it.
bag, the single bag of holding.
The bag of hold.
The bag
The
of
bag of
hold.
hold.
The bag of hold.
holding. The bag
Oh
of
my god,
hold.
that's how we can carry the statue.
I mean,
I am so
You're not
confused. Did I
wrong.
miss something?
So
And I
Kemek's-
didn't even discover the rest of that that store.
Stitch-
So
Stitch showed like a technically black market that he has in his basement underneath Ramshackle Tackle Box to
yeah,
Kemek, and it's just random magic items that he's either come across or people have delivered to him, and it like everything varies from time
and
to
he
time.
had more tomes.
Yeah, that's where they got the tomes
Discount-
for their
Discount
spells.
bimmies.
He's got more tomes too, but he also has that bag. Plus anything else I didn't touch because I was already poor and I focused on the tomes.
Oh, we'll be
Wizard
going
to buy
back
more
to
paper
always
first.
going to be poor.
Nope.
sure he has
I got
the paper
plans
you
for
can
the
buy.
Artificers Guild.
Yeah,
I don't know how much paper and ink costs though, so I need to discuss that.
Well,
but
the spells have a
A
specific
lot.
value that they
Mhm.
need. So
Yeah,
you just
that's
buy
pretty much what you do.
need
You
for
oh,
do
is
the-
it just that? Oh, okay.
that's what I do. I do the equivalent exchange. If you just burn the gold and
Oh.
there's the paper.
You just need
Okay.
the wizard's version of Michael's. Just go in, buy your paper and ink.
I just, oh my god, I'm gonna go up to them and I'm just gonna put like a ring on there,
I
and
have
I'm like,
this many.
what 2,000? I want
have that
2,000
many.
worth of ink and,
Put it
and
up there.
paper, please.
$5, please.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good to have one of us keep track of that so we know that we have that card.
Endless supply of bugs for Kunkoval.
And that I love the deck of many things. I think that's why I make it like we've kept it as like an extra life thing, is because I just love the chaos that it brings into campaigns.
Well, I like what you just did with it there too, making it a group thing instead of a specific individual.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now-
I don't
now think
want
about
to
it
have
this
that on
way.
my character.
Think about it this way. What happens if he drew the void card?
Oh well.
I'm gonna choose
Guess I'm
not
drawing
to
another
think about it
beast
that way.
character.
End of campaign
Zorro.
3, that's what.
It's like I'm drawing a lizard folk or
It's
something.
like, we chuck Al's body in the hole and say something bad happened.
No, I had an idea of what was going to happen with the void. It was pretty much going to be another Freaky Friday incident where everybody's souls like swapped bodies.
Oh
Oh
god,
my
not
God.
that again.
Yay!
Me no like it. Well, Ash was all for it. Chemic, no.
Mm.
No.
Kemek and
Mm-mm.
Alani switch bodies.
Yes?
Why am I
No?
tall?
Yeah.
Can I
You know what?
please
Mixed
stop
feelings.
rolling
Mixed
for bullshit
feelings.
today?
I don't want to be Tickles
Mixed
again.
feelings.
It depends on who we end up in.
Yeah, that's also true.
Mhm.
Mixed feelings.
So
No, I
After
ended one
all
of the
is
wizards.
said
I
and
refuse
done-
to spellcast.
you get healed. You get your food. You get set for your adventure out. Den Mother meets you at the edge of the camp. So just continue on north. Lamplight will be with you shortly. They have something else that they're taking care of, but they'll meet you along the way.
Okay.
Just be careful tonight. I don't know how many of you have traveled out and about outside walls once the sun has set, but the dead are restless at this time. So just be smart, be safe. Make sure you come back alive.
Is there a lot of dead around here?
There's a lot of dead everywhere. This entire land is cursed.
Well, that's a
You're
given, but
You're
this
standing
area
on a lot of
specific-
dead.
I just assume at any given point we're standing on at least 3 dead people. But
That's
this
a good
area
assumption to make.
specifically.
Well, where we're at now, no, not really. Not many people have died near the train. Out farther north? Possibly.
A lot north. I can confirm this.
We can.
Right.
Just be careful and you'll be fine. Once Lamplight joins you, you'll be better.
And this lamplight, is that a person, a group of people?
Lamplight is our head scout.
Ah.
They will make sure that you get there safely. Just don't interrupt them while they're doing their work. They're not really a people person.
Well,
We'll get
they'll
along.
be right at home with this group, won't they?
So, we are going to do one roll for about the first half hour of travel here. I need a volunteer. Who's
I
going?
volunteer
Raven.
Raven.
Who's going?
Oh my God, me too.
Who's going to lead the group? Who's going to be the one who leads them on this
Oh.
excursion?
I did all the rolls today. Leave me alone.
Sure. I
It's
don't care. I don't care who rolls it because I'm not there.
all on Raven.
Sure.
Raven's been
Here's the thing real
voluntold.
quick. As we're like walking, like a few minutes go into it, Cameron's gonna be like, oh shit, I didn't eat. And just pulls up the canister and just goes, clam chowder. Just starts slurping it up.
The thermos fills up with a nice, hot, chunky clam chowder.
Beef stew.
Chunky.
Chunky. Campbell's chunky.
You
It's a-
want,
Yeah, it's a chunky brand.
you want a travel roll.
Yes. So the group has
Complete with
elected.
percentiles?
Yeah, the group has elected Azure Claw to lead them gloriously to the north.
He's
an
just been
important
so
question.
quiet.
Purple or blue?
Well, the
Always
king
blue.
of the north.
Blue.
Always
Purple.
blue.
Always blue.
One
Yes.
blue, one purple.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
I don't know if that was a good or a
All right,
bad.
so what skill check are you going to use?
Before I start reading numbers. None of these are great.
Oh no.
eh, yeah.
Character was
So,
not built to lead travel.
not with 10s and 3 stats, no. Perception.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, that's kind of where I figured we were going to go. So that's a 14.
Okay.
With a percentile of 24.
Oh, that's still not great.
No, I never said it was going to be great.
I thought the 14 was the percentile at first. I was like, oh,
and
okay,
24.
nope.
So
That's, yeah.
we'll find out what happens after we come back from our break. So signals to everybody, we're gonna get up, stretch our legs, get something to drink, and we will be back with whatever misery just befell everyone. So stick with us, and we'll be right back.
Misery.
Hey, look, we found the curse.
Trojan.
Okay, we're back.
Oh, okay.
I heard
Hello.
my name. What's up?
I'll just leave it like that.
I heard my name.
I can tell you, I don't care. I'll tell you, I don't care. I was thinking they would be fun at some point to do kind of a homebrew spell that's, since there's already so many that's like mold earth, shape water, shape stone, like all this stuff. I would be cool to do a homebrew of something that's like shape snow or shape ice or something like that. Since this is like all ice or
Shape
snow
water.
kind of continent.
It's all shape water.
It's yeah, well, because you didn't do shape water, but you can freeze it, but that's it. I was talking about like actually shaping snow or ice.
You want to
Make it-
make ice sculptures?
Make a giant snowman.
Maybe.
If Kevin starts running around saying
Singing, "Do you wanna
anything
build a
about building a
snowman?"
snowman, I'm out.
I know, right?
Just
I'm done.
no, just like you wake up and Kevin's like right there, big wide eyes, big toothy grin next to you, going, "Want to build a snowman?"
We reflavored that song. It's "Do You Want to Play Sonata?"
That's true. Yeah. Same thing. There's snow.
So I have a very important question to ask everyone. What is your marching order right now?
Good question. Do
Nalani.
we have a map?
We do.
My marching order is ass on log, stuffing face.
So before we get to that, because that is true. So, Azure Claw, as you are leading the group forward, trying as you might to rely on your perception, it's dark out here. It's not something you're really used to. You normally don't go outside town after the sun sets. You normally secluded up in your workshop or at a local tavern or something. So you're a little out of your element. Not really lost. Thankfully, there isn't really anything to get lost around here. You just walk in one direction and continue forward. Though you feel the ice or the snow underneath you kind of like gently part ways as a bright green beam flies up, barely, like right in front of your face, just barely missing the tip of your beak. As this strange rotting head begins to rise up out of the snow, a very large, pale, blind eye, singular eye in the center of its face, a very large, razor sharp tooth-filled mouth, and few eye stalks kind of extending out from its head. I see Azrin over here freaking the fuck out. So I'm gonna take you to a map.
He's muted. Nope. He's muted and freaking out, man.
So this was why I was asking you what your marching order was. So everyone who
I'm leading, so technically I'm in front.
Everyone who isn't Azure Claw, go ahead and put your characters somewhere behind him.
Wherever Nalani is where Kemek is, so
I feel like because I know I have you on my shoulders.
Yay,
I'm
beholders.
towards the middle.
I stayed muted, so I wouldn't say what it was, but that's mean, sir. That's mean. That is mean.
Roll the 24.
This feels like the cleanup of season 2 right here.
I mean, what do you want me to do?
I mean,
you know what? It could have been worse. It could have been a 1.
Oh, it could have been a 1.
Yep.
Starting to think I need to change the look of the tokens because I didn't realize the spikes would make them look squished.
Yeah, so you just need to make empty space on the left and right side so that it's the same dimensions square.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to do that.
What I need everyone to do is roll initiative.
Plus, I've been
words that scare your
sitting here in the
players.
quiet.
But yeah,
Hold
I
on,
mean,
I'm using-
if you
Big
basically
roll, big roll.
created
Yeah.
fake space for the spikes, you'd be fine.
Still hasn't hit. I'm like, I've been sitting here like a dunce in silence, and I'm like, God, why is it so quiet? Because I didn't turn up the volume on frickin' Sirenscape.
I mean, that could be a thing, right?
Yeah, I had to switch headphones, so.
Thank you, Fox.
Ooh, nice. I rolled
Yeah.
middle of the road.
I rolled an
It's fine.
18.
13 on mine.
Again, I don't use it often, because I feel like that's cheating at that point. Or I'll run my luck out.
Mine actually does go down
Every
the middle of the road.
time I
most
try to
often,
type.
just on the higher side.
It's not bad.
Every time it's like you were waiting for me.
Actually, I thought everybody had put theirs in already. I was waiting for it so I wouldn't reset you.
I was waiting
If
for
it's
you.
not you, it's Fox, because I know Fox waits for me to
Oh,
type.
he intentionally does it.
Yeah, I do.
Does it?
The question is, how many times does he actually get it right? I figured
lot.
out the
A lot.
cues.
Too many times.
The trick is you have to learn how to type without looking at the keyboard. That way you don't provoke it.
Yeah. See, I know when Groudon, if he's leaning on his left hand, if he moves his left hand, he's typing his number in.
Hate
So
when
I
you do
know
that.
just to wait like half a second after that hand
Our
moves to
buddy
hit enter.
Alistair. Kick us
Yeah?
off with some dope OP monk bullshit.
Dope Obi Monk.
Come on, monk.
Well, first off, I gotta change my HP to 30 because I got my shit kicked in last time.
No.
You were healed, he said.
Everyone was healed back at the camp.
I
When we got
gotta go
to the camp.
from 0 to 30 is what I meant.
Gotcha.
Because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
give my.
Okay, that makes sense.
Wait, you only have 30 HP?
Yeah.
Why are you a squishy monk? What the shit?
Yeah.
You're level
I
4.
rolled
Mimic has
quickly at
more
the
HP than
beginning.
you.
Wait, are you sure? Because I have 36 HP.
Yeah.
And I'm a wizard.
You should
I
have
think
more
it
than
might
that.
Did you roll
Let
your
me
hit
look at your
point?
character
hit-
card.
Did you roll your hit
Yeah,
points
what's on
last
his
time?
character card?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the character card to come up here.
No, it's 30.
Oof.
Why do the wizards have more than you?
Did you just roll
'Cause I'm
poorly?
stupid. Well, I had. What was it? I had.
Or did you not roll for your level 4?
Oh.
You
Well-
may have not rolled for your level 4.
What was his level 3 card? Do you still have that or do you save over it?
No, I save over it.
Yeah, so that would make sense because I think
Somebody go back to the VODs.
I can go back to the VODs. Yeah, I can do
Yeah.
that really quick. That's
Yeah,
easy
that'd be
enough
great.
to do.
It's like just go through and look at a
Yeah.
character card.
so
from
while
the
we're
VOD.
while we're trying to figure out your HP, what is Alistair doing here?
Well, first of all, I'm going to hopefully not scream like a little girl. Yeah. No, I'm gonna do what I do best. Let's move that up to there. Hold up.
Okay, so good news and bad news.
Yeah.
Bad news is your level 3 was 20 for your health. So you really are at 30.
Oof.
The good news is the wizards are more durable than you. That's more good news for me.
That's good
Sorry.
news.
Sorry. I didn't say it was good news for you. I said it was good news for me.
Okay, so
Yeah.
What
That
is your
seems
con
wrong.
modifier?
Al's got
His is a 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Al. So what are you doing?
Ouch.
Trying not to die.
This
Fuck.
feels wrong. This feels wrong.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm just.
You must have rolled really low on your HP.
Yeah, I did. All right. Anyway, I'm just gonna go up to it. Now, hold on. It doesn't matter. Does this thing look undead, or is this just like
oh no,
regular?
it looks very undead.
Oh, okay. That's cool, bro. So I don't have to semi-worry about shit. Just kidding, I do. I'm gonna get behind this thing. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I can definitely do that. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yay.
Okay.
And I want to punch it in the eyeballs and stalks.
Okay, you can't punch it in the eyeballs and stalks because it's like hovering off the ground. You could punch it in the back of the head.
I could do that.
Or in the back of the body, I should say, because it's technically a floating head.
Whatever it happens.
Okay.
I'll punch it. So give me a moment here. Oh fuck. Hold up. Does a 15 hit?
Yes.
Okay. Alright.
The 15 most definitely hits.
Sweet! I'm going to unarmed strike it. Where's my thing? Oh, goody. Look at that. It's D4s. Fucking 8 for 8 bludgeoning.
8 bludgeoning.
And I'm going to use a pointing key to do 2 more.
Okay. Are you rolling for each attack? Because
yes.
when you throw when you do the
yes.
the 2 unarmed strikes, it's attack each.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing. 17 to hit.
17 hits.
All right. That is 10 points of bludgeoning. And the third one, if it hits,
what do you
6, 21?
What damage do your fists do right now?
Bludgeoning?
No, I mean like dice wise.
Oh, 1d4 plus 4.
1d4 plus 4.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering because you said it did 10 damage.
Yeah.
1d4 plus 4 would be 8 if you rolled max.
Yes. Oh wait, you're right.
All right.
Oops, my bad. Having a brain fart. Aneurysm. And that does 8 for max.
Damn. Where are the 2s at right now?
Ha ha ha.
Ah.
Fuck off. I think that's it. I don't get an extra attack, so.
Okay. Chemic.
Oh my, it's just I'm not used to having options. I was more of a smash and slash kind of gal.
This is why I play melee classes.
I also like being mid-tier so I can figure out what the fuck I want to do. So probably to be smart. Oh, it is an action, isn't it?
Fable Forge RPG,
Yeah.
thank you for that raid.
Give me a second. My things do special things. I'm going to. It is a bonus action. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and just err on the side of caution, and I'm going to tap myself and give myself mage armor.
Okay, so when you do that, spell goes off. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw as you see the crystals on Mia's hand begin to pulse.
Great speed, girl. Go like 30 feet over there. Jesus.
What?
Wisdom save?
Yes.
Wisdom save.
17.
Okay, you're fine.
I don't like this.
As like you kind of feel like when the mage, like that sheen goes over for the mage armor, almost as like something's trying to like pierce into your mind.
Can I tell if it was the crystals, if they were like glowing or something?
You can definitely tell it's the crystals, and like Mia, you have like a small like throbbing sensation on the back of your hand where the crystals are extending out of.
Chemic looks over slowly, just like, you son of a bitch. This technically is not a spell. It's more of an ability.
As long as it's not a spell, you're fine.
Yeah, it's more of giving something an ability. It's not necessarily saying it's a spell per se. So as Chemic's hopping off
from your spell list?
It's not.
Okay, you're good.
No. So as Chemic's hopping off and about ready to back the fuck away from this, Chemic is gonna go ahead and, as they're sliding off, tap Nalani on the shoulder. And as they tap, you hear almost like a chime, almost like a clock chime. As I give you, I'm gonna use 2 temporal points and give you an AC increase. So your AC for the next minute is by 2.
Oh, sweet.
I read it last time. I thought it was 10 minutes. I'm like, nope, that's a minute. So yeah, so your AC is increased by 2. And I will. How far do I want to go? Yes. Let me check my range. That's 60. Okay, sweet. Yeah. So. But I don't want to be so far away that if something comes up behind me, I'm not like dead in the water. So no, I still want to be behind meat shields. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to go too terribly far just in case. There's a lot of wide open space there. So, yeah, that's my turn. I bumped my AC and I bumped her AC.
Good turn.
Okay. Who we got next? Yes. So, not necessarily being the fan of being punched in the back. One of the eye stalks kind of just flops backwards looking at you.
Blech.
Ooh. I'm going to need a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, a dex save? I can do that. That depends on my die, though. Yeah, I could do that. Give me a second. 22.
22. So you see this bright green light kind of charge up from the eye and just shoot towards you, and you're able to like jump away from it as you see the snow around it just slowly begin to melt away as the sickening green ray just pierces down into the earth. You hear it begin to chuckle a little bit as its body kind of like shimmers for just a brief moment, and it's now over here.
Get an attack of opportunity.
Nope.
Fucker.
What?
I said, teleportation.
Add that to the list. Mage Slayer.
So much to think about.
I know, right?
So I guess I'm going to get to chase this thing down then. You know what? I don't know what its AC is yet, so we're just going to go with a regular attack. Nothing weird. Does a 16 happen to hit it?
A 16 does indeed happen to hit it.
I need those. You know what? I am gonna do it. I'm gonna burn 1 superiority dice.
Nice.
Going to use maneuvering attack, and I'm going to target Alistair with it.
What are you talking to me with?
Maneuvering attack. You can move up to half your movement right now without provoking an attack of opportunity.
Right now.
Right now.
20 feet?
Half your
Right now.
movement.
Right there.
It's like, well,
Nice. Very nice.
I figured you might want to get back into this. And because I used Alistair, I can now get another D8 on my attack.
80H Adventures, thank you for that raid.
Rolled. That's a lot of damage. 9.
All of a sudden, this fight is a flex tape commercial.
Wow, that's a lot of damage.
That's 20 damage.
20 damage, nice.
We don't have our second attack as yeah, do we?
That's level 5.
5? Yeah, that's what I thought. So that's gonna be it.
Okay.
Sadness.
Oh, it didn't pop up, but we got rated again. Oh. I don't know why they didn't pop up.
I heard it.
Oh, I didn't hear it. That's weird. I wonder if it glitched for me. My bad.
Nolani.
So before I start moving, I'm going to activate my right. I'm going to go right of the dawn and take 2 points of damage to activate. As I sweep it around and do the probably what's becoming familiar slash against the back of my leg. Then, if I move here, I just want to double check. That's wrong button. That's the right button. Yeah, 10 feet. Awesome. It's a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and bring my glaive down on the creature with the reach.
Alrighty.
And that would be a natural 20
Nice.
for a total of 26.
That definitely hits.
Quick question: is this undead?
Yep.
Ooh, I
It
get
is
extra
very
dice.
undead. This is pretty much a beholder zombie.
Yeah. All right.
This is what your class was made for.
It was. She does not like
Here's some
undead.
Ghost puncher.
And I also have, how much light? No, 20 feet of bright light shining off my weapon,
Okay.
in case that comes into play for anything. Ooh. So, 13. So that's 13 plus... How much for that? 13, 17 slashing, and then... all the d4s. 12 radiant.
Ooh. Give me a second. Okay, it's not vulnerable.
That's fair.
You said 12 radiant?
Yes.
That definitely hurt it. Oh, body's still there, struggling to hover a bit. Kungaval.
Alrighty. So start off with bonus action. I am going to use a charge of my watch shape to activate Starry Form, choosing Archer. Let's see. Which allows me to immediately, and from here on out, use a bonus action to strike it with a radiant arrow.
Okay.
So, see here. Range spell attack. Okay. Does an 18 hit it?
An 18 most definitely does hit it.
Okay. A D8 plus my wisdom modifier. 9 points of radiant damage.
Okay. Anything else?
And then that was my bonus action. So then I'm going to use a casting of Guiding Bolt.
Okay.
Because that wasn't a spell, that was a class ability.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead and make the attack with Guiding
And-
Bolt.
Pay attention to that. That's radiant damage as well. Okay. Oh, wow, that's high. 22 to hit.
22 does hit.
Oh, I lost that dice. That is 14 points of radiant damage.
How do you want to do this?
Really?
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, when Kuko activates his starry form, all his joints light up like they have before, and he fires this radiant arrow looking straight at it. And when he sees that doesn't quite do it, he just reaches out his hand and a big, like, almost Kamehameha kind of blast straight into the central eye.
And the rotted eye just takes the brunt full on. The blast kind of going out the back of its body is just slumps dead to the ground. Though I am going to need a wisdom saving throw from you.
Even though I'm proficient at that's only a 10.
Okay. Can you roll me percentiles, please?
I can. I kind of don't want to. 84.
84. Okay. Mia,
Yes.
as you're standing there and you're looking around, you begin to hear Unkaval's voice in your head. Unkaval, can you roll me 2d12?
$13.
For the next 13 hours, Kunkabal's inner thoughts are broadcast directly to you.
Oh no.
Bugs. Oh,
Non-stop
bugs.
comment on bugs.
Oh, snowflake.
And your inner thoughts
Bugs.
are broadcast directly to Kunkaval.
Oh no.
There's a problem.
Solvable problem.
It's a good thing I didn't take detect thoughts.
Also, somewhere on your character sheet, can you mark 4 tallies for me, Fox?
I can.
Okay.
You know what? I'm okay cutting off a hand at this point.
I mean, there's another way to solve this problem.
As your
We have artificers.
your minds are kind of like colliding against one another, you're hearing Kunkaval's thoughts, Kunkaval is hearing yours. Kimmik, you see somebody now just standing right behind Milani. This very large person covered in this very dark, almost like modded gray, like leather outfit. In its hand, there is a large crook with a small lamp dangling off of it. Around their shoulders is this strange looking cowl. It's not necessarily made out of fur. It seems to be getting off this soft dust around them, like around them in like 5 feet, almost like a pig pen effect. Nolani, you're standing there with your blade, with your weapon still in hand, the light kind of emanating off of it, as you begin to see a small gathering of moths begin to populate around it.
They're just holding a lantern? Oh my.
Do I sense the person
Wait,
behind me?
Doctor? Is Dr. G in here? You're part of the collective. Get out of here. Okay. Is he just like staring at Nalani?
Yeah,
I'm assuming his gender.
just standing there, staring at Nolani with the lantern hanging off his crook, just not moving.
Important question. Do I sense him there?
Give me a perception check.
This is not gonna go well. 9.
9. You're distracted by the moths.
I feel like I'm looking over at Kunkaval, looking at the moths, like, it's gathering meal.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say out loud, Nalani, do not resist this. And I'm gonna go ahead and very quickly use adjust position, and with my hand push Nalani 5 feet back and force her body to turn around to face this person.
And you turn around and you like face to face with this plague doctor masked person. And when I say face to face, I mean face to face. He is your height.
Alright. Sounds like the
Just in
blunt
case
in my
it, like,
weapon can smack him.
I just wanted to do this just in case it like attacked her or something and it doesn't provoke opportunities of attack, so I was just like, back up.
I swear to God, Rojan, if it starts spouting fucking about like pestilence, I'm gonna lose my shit.
You're Nalani.
I am. And you?
Lamplight.
She's gonna relax a little more now. Less aggressive. She's still not dropping the right on her thing. Guess in her opinion, she's collecting bugs for Kunkaval.
He kind of just goes, pss, pss, and the moths kind of like flutter away and fly back into the cloak on his back.
Kunkaval might be disappointed about that.
I was about to bust out the bug net.
Apologies, my brethren are attracted to bright objects. Is this all of you?
Object. Sure.
That is neither a yes nor a no. Is this all of you, or are we missing those?
This is all who came.
Very well, let us continue. Just continues walking forward.
One moment, please. And I guess Kunkaval will probably hear. This is why I came here. And Mia just goes straight for the body of the creature that we just killed, and she starts trying to harvest some of it.
Don't touch it.
She's gonna touch
it. Okay.
Don't.
She's going for the eye stalks first. Look, she's a witch. She does things with body parts.
So,
it's just her thing.
Miss Witch, can you give me first a wisdom saving throw?
I can do that. I can't do that. That's a 5.
Can you give me a Constitution saving throw?
I can do that.
Jeez.
I can't do that.
Say that.
I'm never rolling that die ever again. That's a 4.
So everyone stops in their tracks as Mia lets out this blood-curdling scream as the thoughts and emotions of this now re-deaded beholder begin to flood into your mind. The entire history of its life, from its initial creation to the downfall to its resurrection out in the snow due to the curse, to the final moments of taking the guiding bolt straight to the central eye through your head.
Do I have
You are going to
enough?
take 6 points of psychic damage.
Oof, okay.
As those of you who stayed behind notice something slowly begin to grow out the back of Mia's head, kind of like poking out from underneath her hat. As Mia, you now see behind you, as there is a small eye stalk now looking around freely, the eye sort of panicked.
Stop touching things.
This has never happened before, I assure you.
Stop touching things.
Crystals lighting up on our hands again like they have the other times things have done.
You notice that the crystals have gone up a little bit more. Now that they were like on the back of the hand, now they're like slightly covering the wrist. Your hand is still your hand still has movement, but it's spread a little bit.
I'm sorry,
So,
but now
Mia?
Nolani's had enough. And she will use that group thing that we just got and go, I wish Mia never touched those crystals. Don't care. I know it's not an actual wish card, it's just a erase event.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
yeah. No, it's not a wish, but that's how
Yeah,
she
don't you know
phrases
she has
it.
a wish?
Yeah. But the erase event card.
okay.
She does not like where this is going.
So you're erasing when she touched the crystals?
Yeah, she doesn't want. She's trying to erase the event when she grabbed the crystals and got them implanted into her hand. She phrased it how she phrased it, though. I'm not going to redo that.
Okay.
I already
So-
said it.
Yes.
I already said it, so. And she's not the wisest person.
So
Well, you said it right, to be honest.
fate kind of twists itself for a moment as everybody kind of feels time spiraling around them. As you see the instance of Mia reaching out and grabbing that crystal, and then her hand pulls away, and then it reaches for the crystal again. But this time, the hand is different. I need everybody here to roll me a d20.
Fuck.
Do I feel just exuberated because I'm surrounded by time magic right now? I'm like,
Sure, if you want.
At least I don't have to feel your joy.
Kunkaval and Kemek do not need to roll because they were not there.
oh. I'll put that away.
Oh.
No.
Jericho, what'd you get?
Oh, I got to roll too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were there.
You were there.
Oh, because I was at
You feel the
event.
time warp, man. You feel the time warp.
Just as a question, would Al have to roll, seeing now he was unconscious?
Yes.
Okay.
He was there.
Oof. That's
Well, we don't
What'd you get?
know what these mean.
3.
Mia, what'd you get?
20.
You got that 20?
I did. It's because I stopped
Milani.
rolling that other d20.
Still don't know what that means, but yay.
2.
2?
This is my dice punishment for rolling that 20 earlier.
Groudon. 2.
You did not roll a 2 on your d20.
I did.
Raven.
Swear to God.
2 2s.
What'd you get?
7.
7. So the hand, like everyone sees the hand kind of like changing from different hand shapes from the group, and it just goes back to Mia as Mia grabs the crystal and everything plays out again. As you feel as if the fate card or the fate is still there, as if time itself refuses to change.
We didn't roll well enough.
Nope. That nat 20 didn't cancel out something.
So everything is as it was.
Yep.
Everything is as it was, but you still have the fate, the fate's ability.
So it's like an 8-ball. We'll try again later.
Okay.
So that brings me to my question.
I'm guessing New Dawn.
What's your question?
Mia, how panicked are your thoughts right now?
They're very panicked, but there is a underlying voice of curious reason in there, I guess is the best way that I can put it.
So I'm just trying to get, would this be like a lot of noise coming from Mia?
Oh yes.
Yeah, so Kunguval's probably holding his head going,
Damn it, do we cut it off?
So Mia, once she's like regained her motor functions after that incident, she's immediately going to press an index finger to her temple and then make like a pinching motion. And as she pulls back, there's this like long glowing strand that comes with her hand as she uses encode thoughts to encode all the thoughts that she just received from this creature and pull them out of her head.
Okay. Is
Yeah,
that a spell?
she's using the Dumbledore thing, exactly.
Is that a spell?
Yeah, it is a spell. It's a cantrip.
Dumbledore.
Is anybody technically around Mia at this time, or have you all moved forward?
aren't we all?
I thought we were all.
I'm still within striking
we don't-
distance from where I'm at, so no.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not
technically
going
at this
anywhere
point,
yet.
Chemic technically would have moved a little closer to Lamplight. So I'm not as close as I was before. Oh yeah, that's right. She ran over there. So yeah, no, we're good.
Okay. So I need Azure Claw, Alistair, and Nalani to give me wisdom saving throws.
Let's try this die one more time. It's not a bad roll. My wisdom didn't suck.
Tell me about it.
Oh my God.
What'd you get, Ground?
Huh?
What'd you get?
You got another fucking 2.
You get a 1?
No. I
Get a
got a
1?
2, and then I said, "Fuck it, I'm just roll it again," and then it rolled on 2 again. I'm like, I'm cursed. I'm cursed. I am cursed. I got a 6 in total, but
Okay.
I rolled a 2.
10.
The curse continues.
Well,
10?
Swap that
12.
D20 out, man.
All right,
It won't matter.
Mia. Roll me percentiles.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep track of this shit.
I am
42.
42. Ah,
42 should be an instant success because it's the answer
Nope.
to all questions in the universe.
and the answer right now is y'all fucked.
Yep.
Oh,
So, what I need from
Raven.
all of you that failed the
Yeah.
saves and Mia,
Yeah.
pool your HP. Like total it all
Oh.
together.
Current HP or total max?
Total max.
Okay.
41 plus.
I got 49.
Like, somebody keep track of this.
Yeah, I'm adding up. Who else?
Plus 30.
30. And
30.
how much does Mia have?
I thought it was just
Isn't it Mia as well?
It's Mia
max
as well.
or current?
Max.
Max.
31.
151.
So, the four of you have that pool of 151 hit points to share. When one person takes damage, that pool goes down.
You guys are really gonna hate me.
Once it hits 0, all of you fall. This is going to be
feeling?
active in the next 2 days.
Does it mean when we heal, it heals that hit pool?
I was gonna say it makes healing a little bit easier.
Also, mark another notch or another till. Oh, actually, another 3 tills.
Okay, we're up to 7 now.
I mean, at least a lot of us have decent hit points.
True.
Who's
That was
keeping
true.
track of that total?
I can.
Okay.
And Lamplight's kind of lost interest in what you all are doing and begins just to walk north.
I'm gonna go collect Kimmick.
this whole time.
But we can sense what's happening to us now, right?
You feel a little closer to those to the other 3.
So, am I able to harvest any of this thing?
Yes, you are. You are.
Okay.
The spells aren't interrupted. It's just pretty much anytime you cast a spell, anybody within 10 feet of you has to make a wisdom saving throw based off of your spell save DC.
Okay. And when I did the encode thoughts, did the weird new appendage remain?
Yes.
Okay.
That weird new appendage allows you to see behind you.
I'm not sure that's what me wanted in life, but
And allows you to fire a random beam out of the eye stalk as an attack. The beams that you have, you're going to roll this on a d4, but it's a paralyzing ray, a fear ray, an enervation ray, and a disintegration ray. You have the 4 beams from that beholder zombie.
Gotcha.
So, I just out of curiosity, like, meta no meta, but as a player, I'm curious. Is it a full-grown stalk, or does Mia have to like turn around and zap whatever she?
Oh no,
wants to
it's
zap?
got enough mobility to go like around her head and everything to aim at things at in front of her, on the side of her, behind her, above her, below her. It's got range of movement.
I'm a little bit confused. I missed something. How did she get the stalk? Did she just touched it?
She touched the body.
Okay.
Something to do with the crystals.
We are wasting nights. Let us keep moving, please.
Yeah, I'm picking up Kimmick and going after him. I'm not staying around this any longer.
The wheels are definitely turning in Kimmick's head.
So the last half hour of the trip isn't really much of anything. There's a strange mist that keeps surrounding you. Like, it's noticeable every now and then. But nothing crosses your path. You feel comfortable within the light from the lantern hanging off of Lamplight's crook. and you get to the crash site once again. So from the looks of it, there was something recently here, as you can see fresh claw marks in the ground and scratches along the paint of the dining car.
Can I try to determine what made the scratches?
Sure.
I've been out in the wilds a while. What kind of roll do you would like for that?
Whatever skill you would wish to use that you think would apply for this.
Nature?
Nature would most definitely work.
19?
These are werewolf. These are most definitely lichen tracks.
Werewolves were back.
Recently?
Looks fresh.
By your judgment, 2 hours old.
Sure, we let that around 2 hours.
So not too long.
Have we had snowfall in the last 2 hours?
No.
We could try to track it back to wherever they're going.
That is not our mission.
Not your mission.
Den Mother sent us to scout this area, gather intelligence of the cave inside, and report back. Nothing about lichens in description. They will not be able to see you as long as you remain in my light.
My light mess up his light?
What's that?
Does my light mess up his light?
It doesn't.
Okay.
What'd you say, Shadow Fox?
Drinkable edges closer to the guy with the light.
Lamplight reaches up, takes the lantern off, and attaches it to a belt, and you can hear the clanking. Kukavol, you can see that his belt is full of various types of lamps. As he picks up another one, kind of like just clinks it twice with his knuckles as the soft purple light illuminates from it. He puts it back up onto the crook. Now I take it none of you want to go down there.
Not particularly.
You wish
I
to.
don't have to go far.
If we need to.
Kimmick's going, I'm going. Fortunately.
Well, you don't have to. If anything, I'm just touching the ground, and that's as far as I'm going. I can do the rest from a distance.
There's some things down there that can sneak up on you. I'm not letting you go alone.
Well, if I stay in his light.
This violet lamp will shield us, hide us from sight, protect our thoughts.
Good.
Kimmick, if you're comfortable, it's fine.
It's okay. I'll be just at the bottom. I like underground.
He kind of reaches his hand out for you.
I'll go ahead. I'll take it.
The rest of you will need to find your way down by rope. This one and I will glide down. His back kind of arches for a moment as that cloak kind of springs to life as very large moth-like wings extend from his back. And as he does, hundreds of little moths kind of fly out from underneath them as the moths dive down into the cave below. Shall we?
Let's go.
He walks over to the edge and just pretty much nosedives down the hole. And then at the last moment kind of just like catches the air with his wings and sets you down onto the floor.
Thank you.
I'm gonna
I'll go ahead.
I'm gonna use my climbing ability to just climb down that way.
Okay.
Unless there's something that would actually prevent me from doing that.
I don't think there's like the only issue that you would have is once you've run out of train car, as there is about like a 30-foot drop from where the train car is at to the cave floor.
We did leave our rope behind, didn't we?
The rope is still there. The rope is still secure. So if you wanted to climb down the rope, you'd be fine.
Oh yeah, I'll do that then.
Yeah.
All right, just give me a moment. Don't mind me.
And they're gonna go ahead and just kind of grab the side of like the cloth, whatever they're wearing, and just hold on as Chemic's eyes start to just kind of haze over to like this dull grayish orange color, and then they glow this pale green, and simultaneously Munin's eyes glow green, and the raven is gonna go off and gonna see through his eyes and see what is in here.
Ooh, okay.
Just fly around, see what he can find.
All right. So as your little raven companion leaps off of your shoulder and begins to glide through the cave, you begin to get a little bit of feedback from the crystals as he's gliding through. Every now and then the vision becomes fuzzy for just a brief moment, but you're able to maintain control. And after flying around the corner and out into the main area, like the area where your friends last had the battle with these strange crystal-like worms, you're in this expansive opening. As you look around, most of this cave is untraversable, save for the small walkway down the center that has the cut stone. Everything else is just jagged rock all around you. When you look up, you can barely make out the top of this cavern as this white mist is sort of clouding the top. The pathway itself and the untraversable rocks outside, you can see multiple of these soft bluish crystals jutting out randomly, seemingly pulsing soft blue color every time you get close to one, almost as if it's responding to the presence of a living mind down here. You go forward and there's a door in front of you, broken, collapsed on itself, but big enough for your familiar to fit through if it wished to go through.
Yes.
Okay. Did I save this? Did I save this? Did I not save this? Give me a moment. I wanted to show it to you instead of just describing it.
Oh.
Give me a moment.
Game.
In the meantime, while you're looking for that, for flavor's sake, Mia, in your head, you're noticing during the walk a lot of thoughts and admiration, like extreme admiration for the night sky and the stars. And then when this whole moth thing happens, you get the sense that Kunkoval likens them to powdered jelly-filled donut.
The fuck?
Donuts. Bug.
And as soon as that thought comes across, Kunkoval would hear or feel Mia's thoughts immediately shift from whatever sort of intellectual gibberish she was running through her mind to, I haven't had a donut in years. Oh, that would be so good right now.
That would be so divine. God, now I want donuts. Thanks, guys.
I was gonna say, ooh, donut holes. Ooh.
I'll give you a donut hole.
Oh my.
Whoa.
Oh wait.
Oh my.
All right, I found what I was looking for. Give me a second. I
There's also
Okay.
questions as to who the voice is in this other voice, this new voice in his head. Get out. Get out. Get out.
They're hearing voices.
bugs.
Bug.
Just like the cute little thing that the leopard geckos used to do with it when they got annoyed.
So this will work. Hopefully you can see. Do I have? No, I just have to put the players on it. That's right. So as
Ooh, that's pretty.
he flies inside,
Ooh. So pretty. What a
Yeah, it is. Look at that.
he flies into the central chamber where there is one large blue crystal,
Oh boy.
massive in size, sort of intruding into the stone underneath it, wedged in place, and inside is a what almost looks to be a humanoid shape, but you can only make out like a partial shadow, as the rest of the crystal is glassed and glazed over.
Gonna have him go ahead and just kind of do a wide perimeter, just kind of see the rest of this room, and then get closer to that centerpiece. I should make a token for him. Not that he can fight, but just to have him.
As your raven flies closer to this thing, all of a sudden you're pulled back into your own sight as your raven is pretty much obliterated, as you feel its mind just go blank all of a sudden.
And as the raven poofs, you see the shadow kind of swirl and reform back into his shape, and he will fly back to me, as he is an undead raven.
Okay.
Now, as soon as I find out that it's danger, he's gonna fly back to me.
All right.
He has undead fortitude.
Oh, if he has undead fortitude, then he needs to make a saving throw.
He does. Let me pull up the stat.
Undead fortitude is
That's not a stat.
undead fortitude is an amazing feat to have. Oh, I'm gonna hit 0?
Yep.
No, I'm at 1.
Yeah. Let me see here. Where's my character sheet? Keeps hiding behind all the maps. There we go. It is a Constitution saving throw. Oh, what is the amount of damage that he originally took?
The amount of
'Cause
damage
it's based off the damage.
Oh, that is right. 53.
Oh. 53 points of damage?
53 points
Okay,
of
yeah, he
psychic
poofs.
damage.
Okay. Yeah, even if I roll this, not gonna happen. So yeah, okay, yeah, he poofs. And as soon as that happens, Chemic's eyes will go back to normal and go, oh, that's unfortunate.
Indeed, my brothers and sisters have reported back with some unfortunate news as well.
With the crystal.
Kind of looks down at Kunkaval. What about you? Have you discovered anything?
Are you talking?
I didn't know that I was looking for anything yet.
No, because
yeah.
you went down there and you were like standing there, and he just like kind of like looks. He doesn't know what you're doing. He kind of just expected you were investigating like Chemic was.
Nope, he's just been following the moss.
So no. The answer is no.
Moths are yummy.
Did anyone
You
else?
want me to look?
If you wish, feel free. Is anyone else down there as well, or were these the only 3 that were going down?
I was heading down as well.
Okay. So those of you who have climbed down the rope or gotten down another way, you are all in that familiar landing room that you were in previously.
Stayed up because Kinnick said they were going to go down and come right back up, so.
Did your moths find anything?
I assume that your avian found the crystal room.
Indeed. However, can't get too close to see what is inside that crystal, if anything. Before it poofs, and I can tell you right now, none of us can make it in safely.
I don't think any of us can make it in just due to our size.
That, and we can't physically walk there anyway, let alone squeezing through that little area, but I suppose that could be perhaps the lair of whatever is where the voices are coming from, as my companions mentioned.
Maybe.
How big?
It is quite large. Huge crystal. Unless you meant the hole to slip through, you will not be able to slip it. Moonin was barely able to fit himself.
I could.
Let
He
me...
could.
Yeah, he could.
True
I'm gonna turn into a
bullshit.
beetle. Yeah. Let me say it this way then. Once you get in, you will be obliterated. It's protected by what I don't know, but it will kill you.
Mm.
But something is hiding there. Just can't get close enough to see. But I'm sure it's the source of whatever is happening down here. It's ominous to feel that way.
Danger just on other side of hole, or was there any place to go?
I know what you're thinking, and I highly advise against it, but you could squeeze in probably a few feet. And then that's probably the safe zone, if you will, before you get any closer.
My siblings did not start falling until they were within 10 feet of that large crystal in the center of the room.
10 feet?
Give or take.
Okay.
Moths aren't great at measuring distance.
So take it with a grain of salt with the 10 feet.
It'd be 10, it'd be 20.
I will move towards the hole. Don't worry, I won't go in, but can send in others. And I'm gonna use the wild companion feature to use a charge of my wild shape to gain a familiar.
Okay. What sort of familiar do you gain?
Don't take my shtick.
It's going to want to be something that can see down here and fit through the hole. So
A mole.
moles can't see.
I know. I know.
Do they have dark vision?
I mean, what would cats have dark
owl.
vision, right?
Cats have dark vision. Bats may be able to do it.
No,
An
bats
owl.
have blind sense.
Yeah, owls may be able to do it.
Do a little owl, pygmy owl.
Spiders?
Yeah, like a
It's
pygmy
definitely
snow owl or
it's
something.
definitely not dark down here. The crystals give off enough light to where you can see where you're going.
Okay, so it could be really anything.
It could be really anything, yeah, as long as it can see.
Okay. and I'll pick some sort of little lizard, because little lizard character. Why not? And it'll go through, and I'll see through its eyes, and I want to just use the opportunity to kind of do a perception or do perception and like a nature check,
Give me one
maybe
second here.
some sort of religion check.
Give me 1 second here. I will get you a token for your little guy. Okay, I know it's here somewhere.
Little gecko.
We'll just use the snit icon.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it works.
Let me give you control for your friend here. There you go.
So yeah, I'm just gonna like kind of move closer to the crystals, not touching them, but closer. And I want to do, I don't know, a nature or survival kind, just try to figure out maybe what these things are and maybe how they're tied to this chamber and this creature entity, whatever it might be in the center.
Okay. Go ahead. You can give me either an arcana or maybe a nature check.
I'll do nature case. Not great, but 13.
13. You're not necessarily sure what its relationship is with the giant crystal and deeper into this room, but it is a natural formation. You can sense a bit of you can sense a bit of like life energy out of it.
Okay. Gonna have the lizard start climbing up the walls. Is there enough headroom to like possibly be out of range according to what was described to me?
The chamber itself, yes, you can crawl in and like you're like on the ceiling and whatnot. You're out of the range of that 10 feet. That seems to be the death zone.
So you have to go around the room, up higher on the walls and on the ceiling, whatever might be out of the range. Just try to see what I can see, and especially pay attention to the thing in the center there and see if I can see anything, or gather any information from different angles. I don't know. Just trying for something.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a investigation roll as you're going around this room.
Oh, jeez. This is not one of those characters. 17 on the die for 17.
Nice. So, aside from the random crystals that have like jutted out of the out of these cave walls and the large crystal in the center, you do see a few things embedded into the rocks that shouldn't necessarily be there. Almost like there's a like a corner of a throne sort of sticking out from one of the rock faces off to the right on the floor. On the ground itself, it's frozen over, but staring enough, it almost looks like there's carpet. And then a few skeletons embedded into the walls in various places. Even the stone that this crystal is on sort of looks at one point it was shaped for something. It doesn't look natural.
Okay. Any symbols that I can see on the exposed throne or on the carpet?
Not really. Not from the condition that they're in right now.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else of interest in the room that I might be able to get this familiar to take a look at?
Aside from that, no.
Okay. So after having him go around the room a couple times, I'll call him back and I'll share that information with Mothman and Chemic.
Someone's got a little setup in there, it sounds like.
Mia, are you up top?
I am up top. Yep. There's some stuff I'm doing, but I'm just waiting for this to resolve first.
What about Nolani and Alistair and Azurclaw?
Same as Mia. I'm up top, and there's something I wanted to do while I was up there.
Okay.
I was just waiting.
I'm just here to guard. I have no ambition to die.
I'm the fighter.
Same.
No, I'm
I
the
don't
fighter.
wanna get my shit kicked in again. So
Gotcha. So you're just staying up top. You're like, nope, let them deal with the grubs.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. So while this is going on down below, those of you up top who want to do something, what would you like to do?
Like go first, Fox?
Sure, I can go first. Since it seemed to work last time, I'm again going to try and speak to this entity in my head.
Or Kukaval.
Yeah, I was going to say, if
Do I
Kukaval can
hear
hear
this?
this, I feel sorry for him. It's probably very distracting. So she's just going to first reach out to see if the entity is there. I guess just call out. Are you with me at the moment?
Oh, I am always. And Kukaval, you do hear this.
Do I hear the other voice
you hear
as well?
the other voice as well. Your friends are rather curious creatures. Were it not for my promise, I would have maybe made a snack out of one or two of them.
I would appreciate if you didn't.
I told you I would not, so I will not.
I would also appreciate if you would stop whatever it is that you're doing to me that's affecting them.
I'm not doing anything. The only thing that you and I have in common at the moment is we can speak to one another. Those little crystals on your arm, but that's another story. That's not my doing.
Not your doing. They appeared at the same time your voice did. Is this not
Yes.
connected in some way?
We are connected, yes, but the crystals are not my creation.
And you have no control over them.
I do not. I am simply enlightened by them, as you soon will be as well.
That's the other thing I wished to discuss. You called me your, what was it? Emissary, I believe was the word you used.
Yes.
I have no doubt that you are a creature of great power and great ability, being able to do what it is you're doing right now, but let's get this straight right now. I am nobody's emissary, and I never will be.
I said the same thing. But
Yes,
look at
well,
me now.
clearly, you were not as strong as I am when it comes to this.
Oh, the ego, it's always the last to go.
Not ego, dedication.
I, too, first refused the Master's calling when I came in contact with these crystals. But as time went on, I learned to accept fate. That this is the new way the world shall be.
You gave in, is what you're saying.
Gave in, agreed. Call it what you will.
Well,
But there is happiness in enlightenment.
Yes, I've heard that before. Your master is not the first one that's come calling for me, and probably won't be the last. I will turn yours down, just like I have turned down every other.
And you can try, and I will applaud you for it, but there will come a time when you can no longer resist, and when that happens, then I will come for you. Not to kill you, not to consume you, but to welcome you.
If you think that I won't cut this infection from my body, you are wrong.
You can't cut it from your body. That would be too simple.
I'm sure it would.
Those crystals are just decoration.
Well,
remember my mind?
I do.
That's where the real one is.
I can deal with that. I can deal with that, yes. But let's first start by removing the decorations, shall we? And she's gonna pull her dagger from her belt and grab the eye stalk sticking out of the back of her head and slice it off.
Okay. So everyone who is currently connected to Mia now feels this blinding pain kind of just like cut near the back of their head as Mia roll damage.
I have a question mechanically.
With a roll damage counted as a critical hit. Okay, mechanically.
There was 3 of us that were tied to take damage when the other took damage.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work now that our hit pool is pooled?
It keeps slamming against each other.
Wait, so if she rolls damage, we take half damage, then I took half damage, and someone else takes damage? Is that how it keeps going?
Yeah.
Is it just chain? Well,
no, I'm not that mean. Because it's just gonna whittle you down. Just somebody pokes you once and you die. No, since this is a pooled thing, it's pretty much you're gonna take just that damage.
So am I
track already
rolling my dagger damage?
Dagger damage as a critical hit.
Okay. That is going to be 9 piercing.
Okay. And you slice that eye stalk off. Now you have like a little stump kind of like wiggling in the back of your head.
And I just toss the eye stalk down the hole into the cavern.
That was a bit pointless. Why?
Like I said, removing the decorations.
Well, that decoration wasn't me.
No, but it was a result of these crystals.
Ah, so you've put that together. Good. Yes, they are very responsive to magic and, well, the dead.
Yes, I had my suspicions.
Kind of sad because you absorb the best parts of them.
I'd rather absorb none of them.
Now, where's the fun of that? Where's the search for knowledge?
Oh, I've learned plenty. You have told me plenty already. In fact, you have told me exactly how to get rid of this little infection of yours.
Try as you might, and if you succeed, I applaud you. You'll be the first of many who have failed before you.
Well, when I do succeed, when, not if, I'll come find you. I'll remove it from you as well.
If that is your prerogative. Though I'd much rather us be friends.
We can be friends. But I would rather be friends with you, not the thing controlling you.
Well, therein lies the problem, but that is, I guess, for another time. The master calls me to do some bidding. I'll leave you to your friends. Be safe getting back.
I'm sure we'll be just fine. And then she's going to spend the next several minutes trying really hard not to cry from the damage that she just did to herself.
Okay.
It's like the silent tear going down. As you're
Exactly.
just, like, it's like when you get stung by
no
something, you're
tears,
just like,
no tears.
Every ounce of effort she had was put into holding her composure.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
It's a horrible day for Rain.
So I heard all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been able to put together that it's Mia's voice.
Yeah, it's Mia's voice and then something else that's connected to her.
Okay. Well, there's no
Kunkelvold's gonna
hiding
have
the
a bad
fact.
hair day.
There's no hiding the fact from Mia because Kunkelvold's thoughts too, that Kunkelvold is very concerned and doesn't know what the hell's going on. Did I also feel the pain? I know
No.
I'm tied damage,
No.
but
You're tied only in
but I'm
thoughts,
tied
not in
to
pain.
her thought.
Yeah, you're tied in thoughts, not in pain. So you don't feel her pain. You don't feel physical pain, only mental pain.
Okay.
Wow. That was something. Much less mundane. Nalani just wants to, she doesn't want to go too far, but she wants to try and get a directionality on these tracks to see where they ran off to.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a nature or survival roll.
Good nature. Natural 20 for a 22.
Not only do you know the direction they're going, you know exactly where they're headed. Northwest. About the direction towards that forest that you had escaped from.
Fuck. Not okay. Nalani will wait for the rest of the crew to get up here before she shares that information.
Anything else that anybody else is doing down in the cave, up on the above ground? I'm losing my words here.
Nope.
No, I'd probably just do one little thing.
I feel like Nalani's used to having random pain.
The random pain is a new thing, but I mean that goes with the eye stalk.
Yeah. Well, it's not like she was subtle about it either, y'all. You guys
Yeah.
see it.
I'm cutting this off. Ow.
At one point after all this, and Kungabol kind of like reports back on what's going on, Kamek will look up a little bit and they'll say, Nalani, don't freak out. You don't like this, but I'm using magic in your head. Or things up.
Giant sigh.
Hi, duck.
Do you prefer me to shout?
No.
How's it up there?
Mia just cut the eye stalk off her neck, and the werewolf set it into the forest the hag was in.
Interesting. Well, no one really wants to go in the forest, so
I don't think they're with the hag, just safe haven. Maybe.
It seemed to be their destination, from what I can tell up here.
Well, I don't know what they were looking for here, if at all. I'm actually going to, I didn't think of this before. I'm actually going to glance around. Do I see any of the claw marks down here?
You do not.
Do not? Okay. It doesn't look like they came down here anyway. Unless they flew. But
I wonder if there's something missing out of the cart.
well, if they attacked the train, certainly looking for something. Did you ever figure that out?
No, but these two carts were buried in snow until we found them.
Well, there was definitely an interesting finding down here. I'll explain on the ride back to camp.
Alright.
But there's not much else down here to search.
Coming up
at
then?
the moment. We'll be up shortly. Sorry.
So I can't help but feel that during that conversation Maya was having, Mia. During that conversation Mia was having, Kinkerval might have been, or would have been, holding his head, kind of looking visibly confused. And sorry, but I feel this is what would happen. He'd probably turn to Kemek and say, Mia is talking to somebody in her head.
Do you know this?
Weird things happening. Are my thoughts being shared?
Is this what I was just doing with Nilani?
No, something different.
The voice in her head, perhaps. What did it say?
And he won't share everything, but he'll give the general idea of what's going, or what was said. And Mia probably knows he's doing this.
Mia just starts burying herself in the snow, going, "Oh fuck! Oh fuck!"
It's like
Just that
Mia
gift of the
turns,
spider
Mia turns
burying
into one of
itself.
the spiders. Yeah.
It's
Y'all
wings
knew the
instead of
pantomime I was
legs.
doing. Eye stalk is helping. The little nub is helping.
Mia is very smart, but I swear her curiosity is going to get her killed. All right, we will unpack all that when we get back to camp. I think I'm going to take a bite out of her. I feel like that's appropriate.
I don't think this is really unusual. Mia not entirely at fault. Touching things not usually end up with voices in your head or bodily transformation. Very unusual.
Well, you're not wrong, but from what I understand, these crystals are still a mystery, so they are supposed to be observed and studied with caution, I would think. I understand what she was trying to do. It was the method that she went about it that is frustrating my head. It's okay. I will chew her out when we get back to camp. This pisses me off. Because this affects all of us. That's what pisses me off.
Nope, I'm not gonna push her down here. I changed my mind against it. All right, let's go back up.
Nope, not gonna commit murder.
I mean, I'm just thankful Kimmick knows and not Nalani.
Today. Well,
For
not
now.
Kimmick.
Nor would Kamek let you know.
Yep. Kimmick knows.
At least, maybe if anything, like detail, like no details, just like the brief, like some crazy shit's happening. That's about it. May involve the crystals.
Old HP gave that away.
So
yeah.
there is one last thing that I would like to do.
Okay.
While everyone's still doing stuff. I don't know. I mean, you told us out of character, but in character, I don't think I have any indication what the radius of these crystals are. So I'm going to make sure I have plenty of space around me. Because I'm going to do some magic.
Okay.
I'm going to take out a piece of parchment. And I'm going to write on it. What do I want this message to say? I'm going to write, "We need to talk. My mother was one of you." And then I'm going to reach in under my clothes and pluck a small feather from one of my wings, place it on the parchment, and then fold it up into the shape of a little like songbird or something. And then cast animated scroll on it.
Okay.
And when the bird comes to fake life, I'm going to command it to fly into the woods in the direction of where we believe the hag was.
Okay. And you're addressing this to the hag?
Yeah, my hope is that the hag will find it.
Okay.
The bird is only going to be animated for 24 hours, so...
Oh, she's not... I can tell you right now, she's not... She probably won't find it because you are a couple days away from the forest.
Oh, are we? I thought we were a lot closer than that.
No, it took us to, well, first of all, we're an hour further away from town now traveling over here, but when we went from town up north, it took us almost 2 days just to reach the forest, and then an extra almost another day to get to her hut. Because it took us about 3 days total for us to escape and get back.
All right. Well, scratch that then. Damn, if we were one level higher, I could have done it, because that increases the time.
Oh, I know that upscaling.
That's
I'm
fine.
just like, level 3!
That's fine. This will just be a thing that I do at a different point then.
Just save that later. Just tuck it away.
Yeah, I'll still do that, but instead of sending the bird out and animating it, I'll just tuck it away in my bag so that I can just toss it out at any point that I feel we're close enough.
Okay, so the question is then, what did I pick up from that?
If Mia didn't cast a spell, you're not gonna pick anything up from it.
No, but she was thinking.
Oh, were you?
She wrote it. She wrote it.
Yeah, I still wrote it on the paper and folded it up and prepped it so that I could just cast the spell and toss it at any point.
Okay.
So
you probably heard exactly what she wrote.
Well, you wrote the letter cryptically.
Yes.
So that anybody who reads it wouldn't be able to piece everything together. But your thoughts...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, DM can overrule this at any point, of course, but I don't think...
It's your thoughts. So
I don't think Mia would really elaborate much more than that because it's second nature to her almost. She doesn't need to think about it. She just knows this is the action I'm taking.
Yeah, that sounds about right. If this is like a normal action and it doesn't really require much thought from her, like the shared thoughts aren't really going to be as extensive as if she was doing something a bit more foreign to her.
I guess what I'm getting at is more, did your thoughts ever go, my mom's a hag.
I don't think so, because she's her mom has been a hag her whole life, so she doesn't think about, hey, my mom is a hag.
That also technically wouldn't be a surface thought, because
it would just be my
He
mom
said
is one of
nothing
you.
about surface thought. He just said thoughts are shared.
Yeah, the thoughts are
Yeah,
shared.
but he didn't even say that though. He just said my mom was one of you. That's
Yeah.
it. That's what he was
Yeah.
And
thinking.
it
as
wasn't
he's
even a
writing
thought
it,
that
so.
came into the mind because it's automatic.
That's
Yeah.
why I was asking.
Yeah.
Because you can write something, but your thought process behind writing it can be completely different than what's on the paper.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm sorry, my brain doesn't shut up. That's why I don't sleep.
Yeah.
Books.
Also that.
Spells.
Me on the other hand, bugs.
Moth.
And you're like, shut up.
There's a lot of restraint from Kunkaval not to eat these moths from this moth lamp guy.
There's probably bugs. Don't eat the bugs. Bugs don't eat the bugs. Bugs don't eat the bugs.
Which kind of leads to Kemet kind of tugging on him, going like, do you have a way for us to go up, or do we need to climb?
Oh, I can fly.
Excellent. I'm ready.
Up then?
Oopsies.
He just
grabs you. No, that is only for Nolani.
he just grabs.
That's our thing.
Grabs Kemek. Grabs Kemek by the hand, just flies straight up.
Yep.
Does he think a happy thought?
Kunkaval is just like.
As this is like you just see a trail of moths following him.
Just go back to the top. You're like, all right.
Everyone makes it back up to the top.
Ready to head back?
Yeah, it's getting late anyway. We should probably go. It's going to take us about an hour to get back anyway.
The investigation was fruitful. We have some information.
Indeed. Got a lot more than I originally thought, so it was very good.
Will you be making a report back to Dim Mother?
And Lamplight takes the purple lantern off of the crook and whispers something into it, and the light dies down. He grabs the lantern he previously replaced, clicks on it, the soft orange light kind of glows from it, and he puts it back up onto the crook. Well, let us get back now.
Yes, there's one more conversation I need to have tonight.
Indeed. Much to discuss. And as we start heading back, Kemek actually will relay the information to the group of what they discovered. So everyone else kind of knows what's going on.
Okay. So this entire time that this has been going on, has Yuriko been doing anything aside from just hanging out?
After she ate, she more than likely would string her boomerang, so it'd be in Kodo mode, and she would just basically find a spot to chill, and she would just start playing to herself.
So just relaxing the entire night?
I mean, nothing bad's happening in the camp, is there?
Not yet.
Okay, then she's just chilling.
Okay.
As far as she's concerned, all the horrible shit's up north.
Like, screw this, I'm gonna hang out with the bros, eat, drink, and have a good time.
Oh no, I mean, in her mind, she's like, going into that cave the way she fights is a detriment. She's useless in that cave.
Yeah,
like,
the beat 'em stick is a bit too large for close quarters combat.
Yeah, it's like, it's narrow corridors, explosive, mind blowing up crystals. Like, no, she's just like, this is a horrible scene waiting to happen. I'm just gonna not be there.
Okay. So as you're sitting there and you're playing your boomerang instrument. A war horn sounds later in the night, about 2-3 hours after your friends left. And off in the distance, you begin to hear a singular howl and then multiple howls calling back in response, as everybody in the camp, dropping everything they're doing, rushing, grabbing their weapons and getting ready.
She quick releases her strings. And
Den Mother walking out of her tent kind of just gives like a quick jerk onto the long spear, as you see the point kind of fold in as it begins to tilt back slightly, and then a string goes from one end to another as she's now holding this large metallic bow.
Damn!
Badass.
I need some of that.
That's cool. That's cool.
Artificers,
Yeah,
man.
she's got an artificer weapon.
Heck yeah, man. That's some shit. Does she have like a quiver all of a sudden appear?
There's a quiver on there's a quiver on her hip, and you see like these long like iron arrows. Like if you've ever seen the great bow from like Monster Hunter, that's like the size of the bow that she's got.
She's like firing off rebar.
Yeah, pretty much.
Need to get her some snit sticks.
Oh yeah.
And she looks over to you and say, well, I guess we don't get a quiet night tonight.
I don't mind.
You ever fight Lycans?
No. I know of them.
Well, stick close then. Make sure that you get out of your first scrap with him alive. And as the rest of you are coming closer to the camp, you begin to hear the war horns toting out, and lamplight sort of sighs. I was expecting a quiet night. Come now, we must hurry. And he begins to he begins to jog at a quicker pace now, heading towards the camp. And as the camp itself prepares to fight back an invading force of Lycans, and the scout group returns from their mission, that is where we're going to leave for this week. I know we're leaving leaving a little bit early, but we can't do a camp invasion in 15 minutes. It's just impossible.
Yeah, we can.
Totally can.
So we go over.
We just gotta do our turns really quickly.
I do have a question.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm in a slightly unique situation sitting on Nalani.
Okay.
Do I get a short rest?
Yeah, you would, because you're not exerting any effort whatsoever.
Get my temporal points back.
And you can use arcane recovery if you want to.
Yeah.
All I can think
but I don't have to. I just do my temporal
all I can
points.
think of is at one point, Nalani's gonna get one of those baby harnesses, and like she's gonna be rushing the combat, and Kevic's just like asleep, just like head like bobbing along as she's running.
I would totally do that.
Well, no. Rules as written. It's actually in I forget what they call it, the archive Twitter for WotC. Writing does not incur or does not prevent short rest.
Yeah, because there's no stress.
Yeah, there's actually a confirmed documented cheese with Phantom Steed, where you could basically
the catch of the whole thing is Nalani will have a quick release.
Yeah. No, we have a mini people pulse on Nalani's back that Kemek is strapped to.
Half of the group can go on that, okay? There's the other small people in this group. Pick on the goblin.
Another
And,
question.
when she has to disengage Chemix, she just like pulls the snaps and then schlunk.
Flies in there.
Off Chemix goes.
What's up?
For the
no.
group up top, did we hit a short rest as well?
The group up top, no, because they weren't down there an hour.
Perfect. That means my Crimson Right's still active. It's active until I set down the weapon, which I don't do, being a glaive, or I take a short or long rest. So I dismiss it.
That's one of those. It's more awkward to keep putting it away than it is to just hold.
Yeah, glaives you just carry.
A really nice property of that, and Zale abused the fuck out of it because she used it on her claws and teeth, which she obviously can't put down. So.
Yeah, I rarely put down this glaive. It's a rare time I put down the glaive, so.
I mean, that's what Nerix does. Every time I activate on my bow, half the time it's still out unless I need to put it away to actually investigate stuff. Otherwise, I'm like, don't waste it just yet until we travel or move. Cool. All right.
Glaive becomes staff mode, so.
Yep. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and bounce. All right.
Yep. We're gonna head on out as
Awesome.
well. Thank you so much for everyone. What's up?
I have one to do with Mia. During our walk back, Kunkavo will walk up to Mia and look up at her. I will try to learn how to help you with this issue. If you will let me.
I would be happy to. I will welcome the help.
I am both lizard and goblin.
It'll be good to approach
and apparently I'm now Azure Claw and Shadow Fox is now the dungeon master.
Yep.
I'm still me.
But yeah, so
everybody gets 5 levels.
Yeah. Just kidding.
and then everybody loses 7 when I get back in power.
Damn it!
That's the advantage of me having the A name.
Yeah, you just never move. So that is going to do it for us tonight, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time here, this is not the only show that we do. Monday nights we have Mass Effect Horizons, which is a 5th edition Mass Effect mod that Zorro runs us through as we're a bunch of lovely space murder hobos. I mean,
I love you guys so much.
We're not murder hobos.
I'm sorry. It's the space love boat.
It's a BioWare game. It's the love boat with some gore and intestines.
And then you have us here Tuesday night for Destiny Forge. This is our 3rd campaign. On alternating Saturdays, we have 2 separate shows. Up in this upcoming Saturday, I believe it's Withered Wastes, right?
It is Withered Wastes, yeah.
So it's Withered Wastes, which is another 5th edition campaign that I run, which is a magic post-apocalyptic style game. And on the alternating Saturdays, Azarin herds a bunch of cats of his forms of his own murder hobos in his Pathfinder 2 Extinction Curse campaign. And upcoming next week, yes, because that's the first Saturday. Yeah, next week on the 5th will be another episode of Behold Lore, where we will have our wonderful friend Kiara Phoenix as a special guest talking about her characters and the Chimera Collective, which is a series of one-shots that she has run on this channel. And I believe you guys are coming back for another episode this Friday.
Yep.
So
we had to skip due to IRL stuff, but we're continuing it this Friday.
So episode 2, if I'm not mistaken, of this iteration of Chimera Collective.
Yep.
All right.
Episode 2 of Chapter 3.
Episode 2, Chapter 3.
I mean, yeah.
The search
technically,
for Chapter
4. The search for Chapter 4. We are in a temple looking for things, so yeah. We're looking for 4.
No, the thing is, who's gonna give in and run a full campaign first? Is it gonna be Kiara or is it gonna be HP Fox?
Well, Kiara's getting married this year, so I doubt very seriously it's gonna be her.
That's true. Yeah.
So the impetus is to poke HP Fox until he breaks.
I mean,
m-
I'm working on
Hey.
more songs for you. Don't worry.
hey, you said when you got your dice thing going.
He also said he wanted to finish up a few parts of the story, but it may happen sooner than we usually have it. So
I did say that. I said both of those things.
I don't want to hear a
And
but.
I
There's
do
no
have
but.
I have some other things that I want to do as well. There are a couple one-on-one stories that I would like to tell before the campaign, and I actually need to talk to you about that sometime, Shadow Fox.
Wait, before the campaign starts, so we're actually going to do a campaign? Is
No.
my bard going to get to live?
I never said that there would be a campaign. Just before a campaign can start, I need to resolve these other stories.
Look, you can't just half-ass something, so.
Speaking of
Exactly.
which,
So, like 30 more one-shots, and then I'll think about a campaign.
30 more one-shots.
we're gonna start a tick now, and we're all gonna count them down.
I'm just going to keep rotating my elves. Just rotate all the elves. I start over.
I do have to talk to you, Chief Fox, about the
If
next
you
Sonata character.
if you make
Have
me
an idea.
go through 30 shots for a campaign, you don't want to know what's going to happen.
I mean,
We will drive to Canada
are you gonna
and
say
stop because we'll hit snow and turn around, but we will be partway there.
if I tell you, hey Shadow Fox, there are 30 more one-shots to do, and I would like your character to be a big part of all of them, what are you gonna do? Say no?
Anyway,
Oh my,
we
I
are
heard
going to
that.
head on out, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We will catch you later.